illuminated like a Amy and I. You know, beautiful, smooth tone.
Yenny.
Kevin, look at Yenny. She's just like casting a shadow. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We're going to be going live on Winkin here in a few seconds. And there she blows. That's what Kamala said. All right. Looks like we are live on Wimkin. Give that just a few seconds to marinate before we... There we go. Olivia is on location trying to get some video. This might be interesting. We're hoping she's going to be back in time for the show. She's only across the street at my neighbor's house, and there it is. One down, Shanks. One down. Maybe tell me what the movie is. I might give you a shirt. One down, Shanks. One down.
I don't know that one.
And you guys lost. I tried. Hold on a second.
I'm bad at that game.
It's called Sleepers.
Never saw it.
Oh my God. Go watch it. It's the greatest.
I have seen that. I just didn't recognize the line.
Hey.
That's one video. We got one.
I know. I'm getting the rest.
Okay, good. Just get the one with the hand, and then, but we want you back. So hurry up.
Okay.
So
that's
it's
the
Brad
one with
Pitt.
Bacon in the prison, right?
Yeah, it's Kevin Bacon, Brad Pitt, and when they take Bacon out, they're like, one down, Shanks, one down. So 1 out of 4. Yeah, folks, we got 6 seconds. Hopefully Olivia's going to be back. We'll tell you why. We got a story for you tonight. Oh my gosh, live, cops and video. Step into a Wimkin. She might actually make it. What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Starts out with the Bill of Rights, and it's the complete edition of the rights, so you can look up and reference anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence, with revisions and founder images included, beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC Flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold 5 stars or better. It is so important especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on over to thedumshow.com/books. Thanks so much.
Hey, Hogswins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website. Yeah, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We've got Amy, Leeroy, a cat. Yes, see, there's Yenny.
Aww.
She
just popped up. Oh,
she's awake because she hears Mom coming in the door. And now she's watching Mom. Then Mom's coming around, passes me, looking smoking hot, and gives a little love to Yenny. And sits down and puts headphones in, and we've got Mom. Let me tell you the timing on that there, Miss Spear.
okay.
Mrs. Spear, that was fantastic. You did a great job. I'm proud of you. Okay, so it all started. I hope everybody's here. Yeah, we've got quite a few. Folks, my Twitter people, share the hell out of this, please. Let's get Twitter going. Oh, we had 350 people on Friday because of Twitter. Whoa, dude, I like it, Leeroy.
Test. Am I on?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
My eyes are getting old.
They look good. Now, are they tinted on purpose?
Yeah. These are these have a little bit of a tint to them.
They look good on
These
you.
are old. These are old man glasses, so they're like these are the transition jobs, right?
Dude, they look.
So
can
these
I
are the
just
ones
say
that everyone makes fun of at the beach, right?
They look good. They look good on you. I would tell you that. I'd say, dude, those look like shit, but they don't. They look good on you. They look hip. You know, you look like a white guy for Kamala. You know?
There you go.
I was just gonna say it.
For Kamala.
That's right. Ken's for Kamala. Folks, welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We have an interesting show tonight. You might notice that I look different. I'm actually lit. We were talking about this with Amy. Is that I usually have a hat on, but I've like lit up. I'm just like, okay, feel for the first time in 4 years, I'm going to light up a little bit. So now we're all beautifully lit, and it looks. I think we all look very, very good. And Leeroy's a little short, so I got to bring him up a little bit. Hold on. Let me just.
I'm not short. I'm actually folded in half. So
you look good. You look good. You look good there. Okay, Liv, you want to set the tone for what happened, folks? This is a riveting story.
Oh, yeah.
We had let me give you the basics. So you look good with them on, man.
No,
looks
the
great.
glare is bothering me.
Oh, well, okay. Everyone knows Tammy's Diner. Tammy's Diner is a staple in our lives. We have probably eaten, I guarantee, we've eaten there more than any other place on the face of the earth.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Guaranteed. And it's become a staple. It's 52 weeks a year, 52 times a year at least, in 4 years. So that's 208 times at the very minimum. Sometimes we would go 2 or 3 times a week. We just love it.
When I wasn't working full time, we'd go during the week.
Big fans of Tammy's Diner, and it's a family environment, and we're very, very, very big fans of it. And everyone knows we go there. And surprisingly enough, we get recognized in there quite often because of the show. And people will be like, oh, when we walk by, and like Olivia gets her, oh my God, it's Don't Unfriend Me.
That makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have a reputation in this neighborhood. People know who we are. We don't have a problem. And we're going to walk you through a situation that took place. Olivia, do you want to set this?
Set up the size of the diner. I think you need to give people like a depiction because it's.
Well, I've got video, so we're going to see that. I know, but you gotta
tell people it's a tiny place.
Okay.
It is.
All right. So it's a tiny diner. It seats about 40 maximum. It's got 4 long tables, and then 10 regular seats. Tammy runs it herself. The refrigerators are out on the floor. The entire back room is literally the size of 2 broom closets. I mean, and they do an amazing job. They keep it really clean. The food is always good. And it is a greasy spoon that isn't really greasy. Like I wouldn't eat there if it was a greasy spoon. The hash browns aren't over. They're beautiful potatoes, red potatoes, and they've got city ham and country ham, which there's a whole story behind that shit, which I'm not going to get into. Great omelets, and their pancakes are to fucking die for. They're amazing. So,
And their waffles.
yeah. Oh, first of all, folks, we had some people who donated, and I wanted to give an update. I have reached out to Team Rubicon to reach out to a buddy of mine who is a vice president director of Texas, Arkansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. And I've reached out to him, and I want to make sure I'm putting the money in the right hands so it gets to North Carolina specifically and in Asheville. So that's what we want to do, and I'm waiting for a call back. I haven't heard anything back. But I will tell you that everybody we raised, it was Asheville, right?
Yes.
Okay. $1,000 is what was raised, which is amazing. We've grossed up the taxes on it, so which taxes for donations like that, they're 40%. So we're going to take care of the taxes and give an even 1,000. I think it's 400 in taxes, and that's our contribution to the whole thing. I'll make sure I show you guys that when it's donated. Hopefully we can get a couple of pictures or something like that, but letting you know that it's in the works, and we'll give you an update on when that goes. So the people who donated, thank you so much for everything. It means the world to us. And it definitely it helps the world go round. For sure. So we're going to go ahead and put this up so you can see it. The 20 people who donated, and it was incredible. So wanted to say thank you to all of you. We had a great conversation with the colonel from Gainesville, Asheville.
Colonel Honeycutt. Yeah.
Yes.
What an amazing guy.
What a name.
Yeah.
What a
I
name.
know. I love it. The name's great.
Right out of MASH.
Totally. Was he a colonel?
Yeah.
Right. Honeycutt in the show was a captain, right? He was one of the
captain.
doctors.
I think it was captain.
Yeah.
So captain, colonel. We'll give him a promotion. But anyway, Colonel Honeycutt was fantastic. Want to thank Jeff for bringing him on, and it was awesome. So we are at a new goal tonight. We did, skip for the hurricane. We've done that a couple times. We did it for Damani. We've done it to raise money for people on the show. So we are back at it, and the spear goal is, as it always is, $200 tonight. We're hoping we can hit that, make up a little bit of ground. And Bobby, as like clockwork, always, every single night, just boom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's get to the story because I'm excited. Okay, so we go to Tammy's Diner, and Olivia and I have been kind of goo gaga for the last, I don't know, about a week. It's just, things are good. We're always happy, but it's just been like, she's totally in love with me, so I get it, and she's really happy, which makes me happy. I mean, how could I not be happy that she's in love with me? So, as far as where I am with her, I'm happy that she's in love with me, and that means the world to me too. So things have just been really cool. So we go and make goo faces. We went alone to the restaurant.
Well, we went alone because our children don't want to join us, and they were still sleeping until 11:30 after we got home.
I tried to lie, but you went ahead and stole it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we go and we the diner's packed, right? We go there to see Mike, but unfortunately, when we woke up in the morning, we spent a little horizontal activity that put us behind, literally, the schedule to be there at 9:30. So we showed up at like 10:30, and quite famished at that point. And we got to the diner and it was packed, and our usual table was full. So we just sat in the front, and of course I need line of sight because I get nervous everywhere. And we decided to go ahead and have a seat. All right, so we sit down, we order. And we make our rounds. We say hi to everybody. Mike's not there, but we know he's en route to come back because when we miss him, he comes back to say hi. And I look over across the way, and I'm going to pull up the first video. I've got PTS from this. I'm starting to shake. I will tell you, my adrenaline was going.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a woman. And I had to restrain myself. Now, if it was a guy, I wouldn't be shaking. Like, I would have been up and I would have been in their face, and I probably would have had them by the throat and out the door. But it was a woman. So I'm fighting the fight or flight, right? Because she's in my shit and saying some things that are not really good. And I'm sitting there, and you can ask Olivia, I was calm. I did not raise my voice. Normally, like 10 years ago, I would have said, listen, lady, go go hide and go fuck yourself. But I was very calm. I think the show has helped me kind of have some poise. Plus, I'm in my good friend's diner, and I want to respect it. So this, Olivia, chime in, whatever I miss. Okay. So this is the diner.
Show where we're sitting.
I'm going to. Everything will be revealed. Olivia is right here. Okay. I am right here. And the table that is in question is right here. Okay? Everyone got that?
Yep.
All right. So at this point, we are just talking. We were looking at new shirts and underwear and tops and giving Olivia a whole new wardrobe because she hasn't went shopping like since pre-COVID when she was working from home. And I'm like, we got to get you some clothes. And so we were shopping together, and I like doing that with her because I'm controlling and she has to wear what I want. That's not true. But if I don't do it, she wouldn't do it, right? And she'll tell you.
I will not spend money on myself.
That's true. So this table right here has a small boy. There is a woman sitting behind him. And this table is involved. They will be involved too. And this is usually our table. Here is my spot right here against the wall in front of the pole. Perfect line of sight, right? So that's me. I can use that pole if I want to. And it's just it's a safe spot for me to get over the counter. It's my favorite spot. Okay. So thank you so much, Kevster. Kevin Rooney. Kevin la 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 ding dong.
Kevin!
Holy shit. Okay, so this is what happens. We're going to fast forward into this, or watch the spot. Okay. Oh, wrong video.
Wrong video.
All right. That's okay. We're gonna do this together. Okay.
This is the correct one.
Okay, so I see these people walk in, right? Now, I'm looking at this little girl, and I want you to see her right here. You guys can see her. Mm-hmm. She is sitting up on her knees, and she is on a wooden faux leather chair. And it is picking up the right side feet every time she moves. She's 3 years old. And the chair is doing this. Her back is to the right. Her back is to the floor, and if she falls, she's going to hit that table. And there's metal feet, and she's going to crack her head. And I'm watching this. So doing that, I just see a threat, like somebody, like a kid crossing the street, and a car's coming. I get up. And this guy's trying to hold the door for me, and I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm finally like, get out of the way. Just, God damn it, I'm trying to save a kid, right? So I close the door. And I grab a chair. Okay? Just grab a chair. And I go up and I hit the mother over the head with it. No, I'm kidding. That's not what happened. So I just walk up and I'm like, this is what I say. Pardon me, folks. She was about to fall. And if it's okay, I'm just going to put this chair here. So in case she does, she's covered, but also that the chair won't tip over if that's okay with y'all.
Right. That makes sense.
And the little girl, I said, could you move your foot, hon? And she does. And I put the chair there, and I'm like, thanks, guys. Have a great breakfast. And I leave. This is it. I'm talking right there, very respectfully. And I just put the chair there. And I just go, thank you. That was it. Real simple. I don't do anything. I explained to the dad. I'm like, Dad, she was about ready to tip
It's
over.
like you're
So
flipping him off right there.
No.
That's what all this is. This is the Italian. No, it's not.
Okay. So all I did was say, it's ready to fall over. So I just put the chair there, and that was it. And I walked away. I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I didn't want I didn't want to be in the center of attention or anything like that. Okay? Now, total normal behavior for country dining, neighbors, friends, family, This is a friendly environment. We all buy each other tables, so like we'll go out there. Holy shit,
Wow.
Melody!
Melody, thank
Thank
you.
you,
Melody.
Mel. Thank you, Mel. You're amazing.
Thank you,
Thank
Melody.
you so much. So we buy tables, like people go in there and we'll see that there's a veteran, or we'll see a homeless guy, or there's just family who's struggling. We have this family she just had a heart attack and she has cancer, and she's a family friend. So we buy her food. We don't say anything. We don't, like my buddy from KM Digital from Flags of Valor was in there. I just went up and gave him a high five, and then we bought his dinner and our breakfast. And then he wrote me like 2 hours later and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe we did that. I haven't seen you in years. Thank you so much. Everyone takes care of everybody. There's just a relationship here. There was a time when 7 cop cars went by going about 120. I got in the vehicle and I followed them because we thought it was a school shooting, and that's just what we do. So I go back and I sit down. Now she
Cherry
is
looks like
staring
she's
at me.
getting up there.
Oh yeah, she's staring at me with now that we can see the video, a look of contempt, like, and I just sat down. That's it. I didn't say anything. I just was like, I was as nice as I could be. And then she gets up. She grabs the chair, which her daughter, her foot was on the chair, and she was now kind of sitting catty corner on both. And she brings the chair back over to us. And although you can't hear it because of the music, Olivia is going to tell you what she said at this point.
In the exact tone as well. There were 1,000 different ways you could have done that. What are the 1,000 different ways you could have done that? I mean, horrible.
No, like repeating it over and over. There's like 1,000 different ways. And I said that you can see me. I'm like, I put my hands up. I'm like, I am so sorry. I did not mean to offend you. Just want to let you know we're the bad guys. I apologize. We just tried to do something nice. It won't happen again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're a family. We're a community. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we just tried looking out. She was ready to fall back. I didn't want her to hit her head. And I thought getting the chair there as quick as possible was better than that. So that's it. And she continues. Yeah. But there was 1,000 ways you could have done that, asshole. And starts to elevate. And I'm like laughing at this point. You can tell because you can't see my face, but I'm laughing. I'm like, okay, all right, we're the assholes. Thank you so much. This family is sitting here. People really don't know what's going on yet.
Right.
But I'm just like, okay, no problem. Now, she continues. I thought she was just going to go and sit down, but she is still yelling at me from across the restaurant. Now everyone's starting to turn around and look about and I'm just like, fuck me. Do I have a sign on my head? I mean, every time I go out and I'm just like, just read your phone. So I start reading my phone. She's continuing to yell at me. She then goes and picks up her daughter. Now, folks, I'm 6'4" and 225. Out of anyone in that restaurant, I'm probably the one guy you're not going to want to fuck with. There's one other guy, and he's right here. But anyone in that diner is going to look at a threat and go, that's the guy I'm not going to screw around with. Most people probably would. Not because I'm some sort of tough guy, but I got tattoos.
No, but size is there's definitely an intimidation factor when it comes to size and a certain look. Sure.
Right. And you can see when I stand up, I'm not a small guy. So she grabs daughter. Liv, what have I missed?
Nothing so far.
Okay. Then, holy shit. Now it is going to be on like Donkey Kong.
I just want to chime in. Like her husband, I'm assuming that's her husband, doesn't seem to care about anything that's happening. He looks like he's just like looking out the window.
Great call. Let me show you something. This is what happened. Husband is like this.
Yeah.
And he looks at me like this.
Oh no.
And
That's
I put my hand up and I'm just like it's okay, dude. I'm not going to come over and fucking kick your ass, right? There's nothing the chick's going to do to get me to kick your ass, but he's looking at me like I'm going to have to fight you for her. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I know what this is. I understand it. I've seen this type of behavior before. It's my mother. And here we go. So she picks up her daughter and she brings her daughter to the table as she is chewing me out. Eyes this big. And this is how she's talking. You could have done something better. You could have done it differently. Don't you understand how you could? I mean, we're talking.
No, and she's condescending. How could you have done this better? How could you have done this better?
Let's have a little talk about how you could have done this better. And
What a
I'm like,
condescending attitude. I hate
Yes.
oh my God. And I'm just
out. Like, was she like videotaping you at all?
No.
oh no, this
Sounds
is
like
the
she's
security-
trying to make a TikTok or something. You know, it
no,
sounds like
these are the security cameras in the building, and Tammy's our friend. We put them in here. Mike put them in. We have access to all this stuff. So I've got recordings of all this shit from every angle, right? So she's just ripping me a new asshole, and I'm just sitting there. Okay.
She bends down. I didn't get that video because that.
No, okay.
So,
so let me
she
go ahead. You
bends
explain
down,
that.
and she kneels down on the floor, so she's like almost face to face with us, and she's like, "Do you live in Round Hill? Do you live here? Where do you live? Where do you live? Do you live here?" And we're just like,
No, you forgot the one part.
What did she say?
She says, "You what? You
Oh,
want?
you can't hide from me."
No, that's not what she said. She goes, "You want to hide now? That's what you want to do? You want to hide? You can't hide from me. What makes you think you can hide from me?"
And this is where I chime in, and I
will
said,
not
I looked up
be
and I said,
ignored.
Yeah,
I said,
Daniel.
lady. I said, you need to stop talking to my husband and get the fuck away from our table.
Now, at this point, I said, "Ma'am, you're so worried about your daughter. Look what you're showing her right now. You're screaming at a stranger who showed concern that she was going to fall, and you're listening to this language and you're antagonizing. And my hands are like this. Okay.
Right.
All right, watch. At that point, she grabs me.
Why?
See that? She
Yeah.
just grabs me. My hands out, explaining, like, "Ma'am, I'm in a sense of surrender. I'm like, ma'am, listen, I'm just trying to get her to just, I don't know if she's going to get a fucking knife. I don't know if she's going to cook a bunny in a pot, but this chick is nuts. And I can tell she is completely off her fucking SSRIs. She is completely cooked. And she grabs me to a point. Tell him how hard.
I heard the thud.
She slapped,
it was a slap hit grab kind of thing.
She slapped her hand around my wrist and grabbed me.
Brazen
and then
move.
Yeah.
I did, because I turned and I twisted her. You can see her literally, but I didn't want to hurt the kid, because I was going to grab her and lock her up and put her thumb behind her wrist and like drop her to her fucking knees, but she had a kid. But you touch me, I don't care who you are, man, woman, or child, we're going to have a problem. But why are we getting a phone call? Hello. For yourself. All right. So, call in when we're done. Then you can go ahead and tell me. So she grabs, then goes back over her table.
Yeah.
And at this time, the people that are sitting at the other table, put the video back up so you can see him.
Okay, hold on. That was probably her boyfriend, I would think. Wait, what happened to everybody? Hold on a second. Where did everybody go?
Where did I go?
Hold on.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is
All right. So go ahead, Liv.
So the table that's sitting right in front of us that had the little boy and the family, it was a mom, dad, little boy, little girl. The mom looks at the dad and goes, "Move him. Move him. She just hit that guy. Move him." Like she's afraid her son's going to get hit. Right. And then that's why Matt goes, "Call the police." So we got on the phone with the police.
So, and obviously, for no other reason than I'm in concealed carry. Ah, fuck. Hold on. Let me fix this. Everybody's going to get music. Hold on.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt.
All right, so the guy who called, you can call back and you can give us your opinion in a second, but not when we're showing the video. I mean, geez, dude. So at that point, cops come. I know one of the officers, and he's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Listen, I don't want anything to happen. I'm concealed carry. She touched me. I don't know what's going to happen in that restaurant. at that point, I'm just letting you guys come in here and take care of it because that's assault. And I don't want any troubles. She needs to be removed from the situation. So they went and talked to her. She
tried to tattletale on us to Tammy.
And
she went up to Tammy and tried to tattle on us and was like, I don't need this right now. And she just, and then Tammy's looking at me and I'm like, just come here. I'll explain what's going on.
And then she tried at one point when I was on the phone to apologize. So she walked up and tried to, and at that point I just said, listen, I'd appreciate if you just stay the hell away from the table, right? Just get away. But you could tell she had thought about it and said, you know, obviously that she was wrong. It comes down to this. So, hey, caller, call back since you got an opinion. 646 48. I already know who it is. So call back. Would love to hear your opinion again. So would love to hear everybody's thoughts about the whole thing. The whole thing was stupid. Oh, officers came up and they go, do you want to press charges? I'm like, no. What? No. She didn't hurt me. And she was obviously pissed off. She has a right to express herself. What she doesn't have a right to do is put her hands on somebody.
Touch anyone, right?
Right. You could sit here and say, dude, why did you get involved? Okay, that. You know what? That's a completely fair point. Maybe I shouldn't have. You shouldn't have come over to the table. Okay, that's fine. But the whole point is this: if she would have fallen and hit her head, who am I going to be?
Right. She's also the type of mom who would have sued Tammy for a faulty chair or something. But my first thought was, she's got to be a liberal. She's voting for Harris. She's totally got to be a liberal. That was my first thought.
I don't really. That was where you went first.
Yeah,
I didn't go who you voting for, lady?
I didn't say it, but that's what I told Nat. I was like, she's got to be a liberal.
I love you.
Listen,
that's funny.
It's not. The thing is it's not that big of a deal. If she could have said, "Hey, I didn't appreciate you coming up to our table. You should not have done that." At no time did they say, "Hey, don't put that there," or "No," or "We're fine," because I had the conversation. The point is that you don't start screaming at somebody. You don't put your kid in danger. And so my thoughts were, why'd you bring your kid involved over there and start getting in a confrontation with somebody? And I wasn't judging her because, you know, what's funny is we had the exact same situation happen to us. I think Hayden was about 3 years old in a restaurant, and we used to flip her some of the child seats upside down to put her car seat in. And this one had a loose front lip on it, and it was wobbly as shit. And I don't think we saw it. And this guy came up, and he came up with a new one. And he said, "Hey, I just noticed that your high seat here is wobbly. I got you a new one." And we're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And that was it. And we're like, "Oh fuck, you just saved this is a little baby."
Right.
So thank you for, none of that. So I don't know, man. So mind your own business. The caller said it was too much of a pussy to call back. Maybe that's a fair and legitimate point. But the interesting thing that I would have to the caller is, what would you have done? I would have minded my own business. Well, then you're an idiot, I guess.
See, I couldn't do that. I couldn't sit across from a restaurant watching a kid teeter-totter on one of those chairs, knowing that at any moment we could end up with a head injury, which is going to then bring in the ambulances, and it's going to be a big deal. Why not just preemptively, hey, do me a favor, just put this chair here so the kid doesn't take one to the dome, right? That seems like a legitimate, fair thing to do out of concern for your fellow man. And so for some stranger to take offense to that seems wildly out of place. And it seems like somebody who just walked in there with a chip on their shoulder to begin with. I don't know.
Maybe she had a bad day, though. Maybe her mom could be sick, or maybe they lost their house. I'm not listen, there's just no fucking reason to put your hands on somebody. And what was appalling to me is that you're going to go over there and you're going to get into a verbal confrontation with somebody. You're fired up, you're ready to go, and you're going to bring your daughter versus like that. It's just weird.
Or just asking to talk, or just don't let your kid jump around on the chair in the first place.
Yeah.
Like we did when it was chairs or booths, the kids always sat on the inside. Always. We always sat on the outside.
Yeah, that shit happens. Amy, go ahead. What were you thinking?
To everyone saying, like, mind your own business, I could I totally understand that point if you don't live where we live.
Right.
Everyone knows
Right.
everyone. We
Right.
all, and here it's like you watch my kids, I watch your kid. Like it is a true community here. My kids play with my neighbors' kids all the time. My neighbors' kids are at my house all the time. That is how it is. We just take care of each other. That's a true community where we live. So if you
Yeah.
see a kid in trouble, the adults here do step in
Right.
to help, and it's not weird here. It's not like you're overstepping here where we live. This is our culture. It's just
it
what we
is,
are.
but even if it's not, I can completely understand how a parent could feel that I'm not minding my own business and I have it under control. Well, I'll tell you, I am not everywhere with my kids, and they weren't watching. I saw it, and that's just who I am. I don't think I've ever done anything like that when it comes to a kid ever before. But if you watch the video, you can see her, and where she's at in that situation. Hold on.
I think I don't know this woman at all. I actually just went on Western Loudon, our community page, to see if there was like gossip about it. There's not. But there is someone from Percival, I guess, on Wheel of Fortune tonight. Well, I don't get on social media. I just saw that. But I don't know this woman. This is all speculation. I'm assuming she obviously runs that household pretty good, and her husband seems like he might be afraid of her.
Totally cuck.
And
Yeah.
But it's like but I think she has a lot of self-hatred, because if someone tells me like, hey, your kid's going to get hurt, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yes, I'm attentive to my children. But again, I literally missed my kid breaking her arm by like 2 seconds because I had just shut the camera off. So,
Right.
I'm like, so it's like we all have those 2-second problems where it's like, okay, I just turned my camera off. I put my phone down, and that's when my kid wrecked and broke her arm. So yes, we all have those moments where we're not watching our kids like a hawk. If someone sees my kid in danger, please tell me. I appreciate it.
Last time I'm going to do it. Watch the. You can see the chair move. So you can see how she's leaning all the way back, and the feet come up, and it's multiple times, and you can see she's on the edge.
Yep.
And guys, these aren't small chairs, but they're not industrial size that aren't going to move. And that was it. I mean, it was a simple thing. Dad looks right at me. When Dad walks out, Dad gave me a look like, my spirit was broken decades ago, and I hope that yours is intact. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds weird. That sounds like you had a weird weekend. I'm sorry that happened.
It was just reflective. The whole point was, like, I wish that caller would call back.
It was a busy weekend.
My reflection on what the caller said was, maybe you should have, focused on your own business. I think that's fair when there's a child that's not in danger, right? Let me ask you a question. If some guy slaps a woman, do you expect me to get involved? Because I would. If a man slaps a woman, I'm going to get involved. If I see a kid is being abused, comes in disheveled and dirty, I'm gonna say something. If somebody comes in and tries to rob that diner, I'm gonna say so. So I think that's somebody who just doesn't watch the show and decided to stop on by and go because they had too many beers and they're alone and masturbating with their own tears, and that's sad. But
probably her husband.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I'm looking at the number, and the number looks very familiar. So I don't. You know what? That doesn't bother me because I'm open to criticism. I wouldn't be putting myself. When we talked about doing this, I was like, oh, well, some people are going to have different opinions. I mean, this is the internet, for God's sakes. If I wanted to put a glass of water up here, people would argue whether it was half full, half empty, or if it's past the existential state of being of water or not. So,
sure, but at what point do you override your concern for your fellow man and say, nope, I'm just going to stay out of it? And the next thing you know, you don't know what could have happened. That kid could have had an accident, or worse. What would have happened if, to just like in your example, right? You're talking about in any one of a number of different situations. If you see a woman getting, slapped around, or God forbid you interrupt somebody who's trying to kidnap somebody, there's not. Democrats love to point out the fact that our neighbors need to look out for each other, that we as humans need to interact with our neighbors and the people in our society, and they love to put their noses where they don't belong. So I don't know, man. If we go along with that, right, everything should be fine, right? And the only stipulation to that is when someone puts their hands on you. Once that happens, then there's a line that's been crossed, and I'm like, yeah, I know how I would have reacted, because it's been played out in my head before. Things like this have happened to me before, and I've simply said, "Don't fucking touch me, man."
Yeah, I didn't even do that. I said, "What? Why are you grabbing me?" She goes, "I'm trying to shake your hand," and I said, "This isn't a cordial conversation, and I have no desire to make some sort of conveyance with you. Just stop fucking touching me. Just get away from me. Don't touch. That's your." And then I walked over to her table and I said, "Listen, you need to understand something. What you just did was assault, and I'm calling the police, not because of any other reason than you've escalated this to a point where I'm going to be held accountable with you. He said, she said." Right. And this is now a physical altercation, and you can say anything. I'm contacting the police, and I would be very conscientious that you assaulted me for no reason. You're going to go to jail if you don't calm the fuck down. And then it's so stupid. But that's my point. How could you imagine this happening? Like, what if her child, I know this is a what if my grandmother had balls, she'd be my grandmother. But if that kid would have fallen, the first thing she probably would have said was, "Why didn't anyone tell me? I didn't see it. Why didn't somebody help and stop?" But that's the problem. Someone just said Daniel Penny, or the guy in New York who that guy said he was going to shoot people and stuff, and he choked him out and he died. That's why people don't help.
I feel like that mom is the kind of mom that would actually blame her child and be mad at her child for getting hurt. That's how I would perceive her.
Sounds about
Just
right.
And that's a great lesson for anybody who's watching, for any fans of the show, or if you know of anybody who's ever run into similar situations. If you know somebody who's a CCW, who carries legally,
yes.
If you know that person is out there, and for whatever reason something happens to that person, however minor, the owner of that CCW is obligated to call the police, because God forbid that lady would have called the police later and said, "Oh, I had an altercation with this person." Mm-hmm. Police show up, 2 hours later, only to find out, "Oh, you were armed and you didn't say anything." Yeah. Now it escalates. Now it's
you're not allowed to escalate a situation when you're armed. Like, I can't give somebody a finger while I'm in the car. Nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to go to jail for that. But what happens is that they will write you a ticket that's related to you being a concealed carry holder. Then when you go up for your permit and you go to court for this, they will pull your CCL, because you're set to a very high standard when you carry. That you can't instigate fights, that you have to, as much as you can, walk away until the stand your ground law kicks in. So This is why I didn't get up. This is why I wasn't confrontational. But it's just ridiculous. The cop. It's funny. If you guys remember the story when the two guys tried to block me in the freeway and I almost pulled my weapon. When he pulled up, I went like this and put my hands out. And he goes, "Put him down, put him down. I already know who you are. I was there when you almost killed those two guys for kidnapping you in the middle of the freeway, man. You're good. Don't worry about it." He's like, "We told that story for like a week." And I'm like, "Okay, great, man. I'm glad you remember me." That was it. Had a conversation with him, and the other rookie came up, and he's like, he's like, "Do you want to press charges?" And I looked at him. He's like, "I thought so." He's like, she's very upset and mad, and it has a lot to do with other things than you. And she said she tried to apologize, and I said, "Yeah, I wasn't having any of it." He's like, "That's smart," and that was it. Moved on, and it was over. So there you go. There's our story. I figured I'd share it with you because we like to share things like that.
That was
Wow,
interesting.
I miss all the fun stuff, man. I will just say this really quick tidbit. You're talking about road rage, like not flipping people off. Our new thing is, my son was like, we can just call them like put the loser sign up. So like we do that, or we do like the
Oh, I've
thumbs.
seen that. Yeah.
We do the thumbs
Have you
down
seen
to
the
all the
digital
beggars.
ones?
Oh, I love those. I don't want to do that because like carpool line. I don't know. I might get, like judged, but I love them. I would love fun. Yeah.
You can't do any of that stuff, you know? Should I call our caller back?
No.
You sure?
Oh.
Let it
I
go.
wanted this. I wasn't holding on to it. It's a caller and wanted to
No,
see.
if they wanted to call back, they'll call back.
I already know who it is. So I guarantee, no, I'm not going to say it, but somebody who was involved in the incident, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why I wanted to call back. I wanted, I would have loved to.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we'll move on.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me who it is later.
That's okay. That's okay. That's why I want to call the person, because I was going to have a conversation with them and be like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" We'll move on. So let's do this instead. Let's dive into a little bit of what's been going on. Now, everyone, did you guys have a chance to see Kamala Harris? And when she was at her rally, I showed this on Friday, where she said, when somebody called out Jesus is Lord. And she said, "Oh, you're at the wrong rally. You need to go to the rally across the street." Right. We'll talk about that, but there's some other stuff. Somebody just said, "Hey, Matt, how close do you think this election is?" Do you want my honest opinion? Yes, I think you do. I'm going to ask everybody else. Leeroy, we're 15 days out. How close do you think this election is?
Unfortunately, I think it's closer than anybody. Right now, the polls all show Trump with a small lead. Poly market shows it as a much bigger lead. But I think what we could be experiencing here is a situation where I'm afraid that at the last minute, within the next, when we get down to like the 1 week counter, that somehow or another something will happen and the Democrats will find some lightning rod to help kind of even things out. So I think that it'll be much closer than what anybody thinks. Is that fair?
Okay. Amy?
Gosh, I wish I had a different answer. I just will say I voted today. I went to early voting. So I was at a different polling place. It was actually I was closer to you guys because, there's less polling places. And it was extremely professional, completely like by the book. It was probably even better than my normal polling place. Like they were like, here's your voter number. I just want to show you it's on your printed ballot here and you should have this. It was very like, maybe because I had my kids with me because they wanted to go. They like to go and vote with me. So maybe that's why they walked me through everything. But I thought it was very professional, very thorough. But I will say, I mean, it was packed today. It was packed. I didn't wait in line, but there was a constant line, consistent people coming in and out. So it was very, very busy for a Monday early voting. So you could tell who was voting for who there. And it was probably 50-50 of all the people that were there. It was very much a lot of blue and a lot of red. And you could, it's pretty obvious where we are. Like the Democratic people didn't even approach me at all. Like, hey, they're like,
they
obvious.
just know.
Yeah.
They all know it. They all know each
other. I
other.
was happy when I walked in. I had my kids, I'm joking around.
Yeah. You weren't just like, I need to get an abortion. You had kids. That was the
giveaway. Don't gender me.
Catholic school uniforms on. They're like, oh, you have morals and ethics and values.
Right. You don't smell like patchouli and Birkenstock. Okay, Liv, what do you think?
See, I don't know, and I don't really pay attention to the polls. My stuff comes from you. So whatever you tell me is what I kind of go off of.
Oh, come on. That's a horrible thing to say, because that's what Hillary says.
Well, I mean, I was extremely...
You're the one that voted for Trump before me.
Do you ever let her convince
me? No. Like a woman should ever be out of the kitchen, first of all.
Well, I was in 2016. I didn't think he was going to win, but I was really hoping he did. And of course he won. In 2020, I was like, oh yeah, we got this in the bag. Biden sucks. Yeah. And I was completely wrong. So I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, they managed to get somebody to be the president-elect for the Democratic Party that never got one vote. So at this point, I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are all fair. Everyone has viable thoughts, and I'm not the end all be all on this. I just have a couple questions. I mean, what's new, right? Okay. So let me ask a couple of questions. That's bright. I mean, I like illuminated, but I don't like freaking vampire melt status. By the way, dude, when you're from New York, and I already know the person's name who was in the diner, and then I found out your name in about 3 seconds, it's not hard for me to tell who you are. I would love for you to call back and send a little message to your friend for her to call in the show, and let's get her side of the story. That's what I would like to see. But first of all, you're from New York. That says enough. And by the way, New York is one of my first markets. That should bother you. My first market should be Texas or Virginia or any other red state. But the fact that my number one state is New York and second is California should tell you something. But second, you might want to cover your tracks a little bit better. Just saying. Let me ask you a question. And this is all three of you.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Minnesota. Who does it go to?
I was going to go to Harris.
Just pick. Just pick.
I think it's going to go to Harris because of Walls,
Okay.
but I think it's going to be so close. I don't know.
That's okay. Okay. So it goes to Harris. Leeroy.
Yeah. Oh,
one?
Harris. It's going to go to Harris.
Okay. Now, does anyone know the rule about swing states? How many swing states are there usually in an election? Does anyone want to tell me?
7?
Yeah, that's what I
3 or
would think.
4.
3, 4, 5, 7 is a lot. The fact that there's 7 swing states is huge. But does anyone know the rule about swing states? Do they usually go 50-50 and split down the middle?
No.
There's usually a pineapple on the ballot and it's upside down. And
And it has white rocks in the corner.
yes.
Huh?
Obviously, they don't know what swingers are.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Me
Sorry.
neither. I'm very lost.
International icon for swingers, Matt, is a pineapple.
It's a swinger.
Oh,
You're a swinger. You have
got
upside down
it.
Yeah,
pineapple.
we
rock.
sexually satisfy each other. We don't need anyone else, so we don't know what that feels like. Moving on, losers. So the whole we played that so smooth, like usually when it comes to swing states, it surprisingly enough 1 or 2, but it's decisive. Like if there's 5, 4 go to one person and one picks up 1. If there's 6 or 7, 2, and then the rest go to the winning candidate. It's very rare for swing states to split. Okay, so let's do the math on this. Minnesota.
I think we'll go to Harris.
Okay, so there's 1 for Harris. That's not a good sign. We're already in trouble. Wisconsin.
I think it could be Trump.
I do too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all do. So there's Trump. Now, how about Michigan?
I think Harris.
I think that's going to go Harris.
It's so
Is that what the
close.
polls? Is that what the polls say?
Harris, Trump. I think Trump is kind of in the lead in the polls, but I think that Harris has spent a lot of her ground game in the last few days
What?
there, and I think that might swing a few things.
Auto workers, the
That's true. Yeah.
they just came out, yeah, and the metal, the come on,
They're back in Trump
Teamsters?
now. Yeah.
yeah,
no,
not blacksmiths, but not metal,
auto workers?
not metallurgists, but
iron workers.
Yeah, iron workers just came out
Yeah.
for Trump. You guys, the one thing that Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania all share in common is that blue collar workers all run abundant.
Yep.
And as go Wisconsin usually goes Michigan, and as go Michigan usually goes Pennsylvania, and as goes Pennsylvania usually goes Ohio. I believe that he has Michigan. Right now, that's what the numbers are telling me because it's not a big enough lead. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to blow your minds. I'm going to blow your minds at the end of this, okay? Pennsylvania.
Trump.
It's 100.
Trump.
Everything says Trump. Everything. And if he gets Pennsylvania, her road to the White House is almost impossible. I'm just letting you know. Even if she picks up Wisconsin and Michigan, it is. I'm
19
going to show you
electoral votes there. That is a huge
19.
advantage.
19.
Okay, it's huge. It's Michigan.
I don't remember
It's
being absent.
it's Michigan and New Hampshire, folks. Okay, it forces her to have to pick up another state, which is massive. Okay, he picks up Pennsylvania. She has to pick up another state. Has to. Okay, so let me ask the question: North Carolina.
I think it's going to go Trump.
So do I.
Yeah.
Trump. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1. What does the rest automatically tell us now? Based upon every election with swing states, it's Trump's.
Yeah.
That's what it would tell us. Now, let's go ahead and go down the rest, okay? Georgia, where's it going?
I think it's going to go Trump this year.
Harris. Oh, really? I don't know. I thought Harris.
It's not-
I don't know. I'm not
It's not
paying
even
attention.
close. It's not even close. It's Trump.
It's Trump.
It's Trump.
I believe you.
Kemp won decisively against Stacey Abrams. Kemp has endorsed Trump. They're going to tour together. Okay. Arizona.
Trump.
Yeah,
I think
Trump.
that's for sure going
That's
Trump.
by far and above his best state of all of the swing states. That's the one where he's got the strongest performance.
And the other state that is absolutely lockstep with Arizona based because of immigration and what it does to the gaming board, what it does to Las Vegas, and what it does to Reno is
Nevada.
Nevada goes to Trump. You're talking about an 8-1 sweep in swing states. Even if you give her 3 and he gets 5, this race is over. So let me go ahead and tell you the difference in this race. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
2016. No COVID. 2020, COVID. Republicans did not get out an early vote. It was the most least successful get out and vote opportunity and one of the lowest turnouts when it came to overall amount of people voting on election day. COVID played a part. You are not going to have that this time in 2016 to 2020. It's going to be 2016 type turnout and better for conservatives. But folks, there are 3 main topics on the board: the economy, the border, and geopolitical situations. They are losing in all 3 categories. And Donald Trump by far is leading in those 3 categories as who they have the most faith in. When it comes to global stability, when it comes to war and conflict, when it comes to the economy, and it comes to the border, he absolutely is the preferred candidate. Right now, to me, this is what it looks like, and I would love discussion from everybody telling me what you think if you disagree with what I'm saying. This is what, if it falls as it should, based upon what we just said, it's 312 to 226. It is an absolute shellacking.
I have a question about Virginia because I thought I've always questioned it, but do you think I didn't think it was going to be red, but y'all were like, it's going to be
Okay.
red.
Well, first of
I'm
all,
I'm showing
red.
blue currently.
that was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It's so far outside the margin of error, and I don't think he's going to overcome Halifax. I don't think he's going to Fairfield or Ashburn. Yeah, Fairfax. Excuse me. God, Fairfax, Ashburn, Alexandria. I don't think the rural, but we could be wrong. But we saw by the 2022 primaries that it didn't look good for conservatives. In fact, most of them lost their races. I think it stays blue for at least one more election. I think if Youngkin goes, it will flip in 2028. And I think Youngkin will be the nominee. He will get 100%. 100%. He'll get Pennsylvania. He'll get Virginia. He'll get North Carolina. I think he has a chance to get New Hampshire. He will break into the Northeast.
Yeah. I think with Virginia,
Got a call.
I know the economy is pushing a lot of people outside of DC, and they're coming to Virginia. So you got a lot of DC people.
I think. Go ahead and mute your phone. I think so too. Go ahead and mute the show so it doesn't dial in. We can hear echo. So I agree with you. I think that if Youngkin runs in 2028, obviously Virginia will go. But it's a sleeper. I just don't see it falling. But here's the thing. as West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and North Carolina go, so does Virginia. That's the thing. So even so, he doesn't even need it, and it's only 13 electoral votes. It'd be nice to have. I'd love to see it. But what happened in 2020 and 2022, I don't think Virginia goes that way. We'll see. Hey, caller, where are you from? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, Matt, it's Frank.
Hey, Frank, what's going on,
Hey,
buddy?
Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, man, I went and voted today. I'm in North Carolina, just on the other side of Fort Bragg. I refuse to call it Fort Liberty, but
Thank you.
I had to stand in line for an hour and 15 minutes. There was a tremendous turnout. In fact, I went Friday, and I couldn't get in line. There were so many cars and so many people. I said, screw it. I'll come back another day. Fast forward, I go in today. I get a primo parking spot. I'm standing there in line. It took me an hour and 15 minutes to get in to vote. And just as I get in to give my ID and everything, I'm talking to the gal that's standing there. I said, by the way, how many people have you had here since voting started? She said, over 5,000 people.
That's great.
I was blown away. I was like, oh my God. Now, that being said, everything outside of the voting periphery was all Democrat. They were really pushing it hard. In fact, one guy come up, wanted to give me a pamphlet, and I said, no thanks, I'll pass.
That's usually the case. That's usually the case. They've got the money for the ground game, and usually Trump supporters are volunteers. There's no doubt. Did you see any poll captains or people watching the station itself?
Yeah, absolutely, I did. They had when I got inside, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw 4 poll captains. There was a gal at a desk that was an information thing that, if you had any questions, come on up and ask. But I got to tell you, the poll workers were awesome. They were just the best. Any help you needed. And it was paper ballots. So here's the one thing I found really interesting is on the front side of the ballot was all of your choices for, top, down ticket, so far and so forth. You go to the back side of the page, there was one Republican at the top. The rest of them were not even, you didn't know who they were. There was nothing. It was like, da-da. I wish I had taken a picture of it, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
Real quick, somebody just asked Frank, hold on a second. Somebody just asked 2 questions, and I want to get to them so they don't log off, and I want to be able to answer them. One, New Mexico. New Mexico has no chance of going red.
No.
It's blue. It's
Totally.
blue. It is 100% minority driven. No chance. New Mexico is
polling blue. There is like 91% for Harris. So.
There's no chance in hell. Not at all. Just like California. Folks, this election's going to be close. I'm just telling you where the swing states are showing right now that close favors Trump all day long. All day long. Kamala Harris would not be doing radio interviews. She would not be exposing herself. She would not be going out there if she was even they're nervous.
I want someone to just douse her with holy water and see if she starts melting off or something.
like Al Pacino in that Devil's Advocate movie where he puts his finger in the water and just bubbles. Right.
Somebody else asked a question. Question number 2 is what happens if a state ties? It's absolutely impossible. But even if a state does tie, I mean, mathematically, you don't understand the odds. The odds would be like getting eaten by a shark while you're crashing in a 727 and dying of food poisoning. And dying of food poisoning. The odds are impossible. But let's say that it would happen. You would have a recount. And then you would have a second recount. And then you would have a third recount. And then a fourth. And then a fifth. And then a sixth. And a seventh. But you're not going to need that because on the second recount, it's not going to be a tie. Because you're going to find something somewhere. This is not the way it is. It's just not going to happen. But you're more worried about a county coming in at a tie. Like Round Hill is not a county. But if we did like Ashburn and you've got, I don't know, 500,000 people here, coming in at a tie is very much impossible as well. But a precinct could come in, and then you would have to go ahead and you have to count that through. And if it comes in as a tie, you have to validate the votes, and you usually find disparities, or you find a vote that was mistakenly counted, or you find an additional ballot that was marked as unqualified or uncountable and winds up being countable. Whatever it is, you will find a way. Or they just re-vote. Now, it's interesting, in Georgia, you would have to have a runoff, and you have to have one candidate that gets at least 50% of the vote. And if both candidates don't get 50%, which is what happened in Georgia for the Senate races, they both had to have runoffs, and they had to do it again. And that's when we saw Warnock and Walker face off, and et cetera, et cetera. And we lost Georgia and lost the Senate. Frank, one more second. Someone also asked me about the House and the Senate. The House goes through New York. The House goes through New York. And it looks very, very good. Based upon the 2022 primaries, New Jersey almost went red. Virginia did not do as well. But you had New York that actually turned some Republican seats. They're not happy up there. They don't like illegal immigration. They're not a fan of Eric Adams. They're looking for law and order. It's very Giuliani-esque pre 9/11. New York has a good shot. And if we can turn New York, we'll win the House. And I believe we can absolutely take the Senate. I think we can hold the House, and I think we can take the Senate. That would require Donald Trump winning and America giving him a mandate, which I'm a little skeptical about. But they're looking for change, and it's going to take a lot of change and a lot of policies and a lot of legislation to fix what's been broken. So they very well may give him a mandate. Frankie, sorry to interrupt, but I had some questions to get to. What else you got, buddy?
No, man, that was it. All I wanted to say was I was impressed with the voter turnout today. I don't know what it was. I noticed that outside they were predominantly Harris walls. They were handing out stuff like it was Halloween.
No, they need to.
And
they need to.
I noticed a lot of people were not taking it. So that tells me something.
Well, you're in a red area. What city are you in?
I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, Fayetteville
Fort Bragg is in my backyard. I hear artillery shells going off all the time.
I was there at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you were.
So I'm going to give you the voter demographics for Fayetteville. I already know it because I've seen it. Cumberland County. Hold on. Come on. Pull up. Frustration.
Let me see if I can. I might have it on file. Give me 1 second.
I already got it. Republicans in Cumberland County is like a 60-40 split Democrat. I mean, that is 100% a Democrat area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Party affiliation is, and the reason why is your female element is 106,000. You've got 75,000 unaffiliated though. Race white, ethnicity 85,000 black. So this isn't boding well for Trump in this area. And it has fallen that way. I believe it went, if I'm not mistaken, 60-40 for Joe Biden.
That's what I'm
so that's what I remember. So Fayetteville is predominantly blue. So it would make sense that blue is going to be there to retain it, and red is simply said it's not an area that they believe they can win. So that's why you didn't see a lot of red there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it absolutely does. But what's interesting is the only Harris, oh my God, the only Harris Walls sign I've seen is in my next door neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything though. I wish that meant something.
It's the only one I've seen. I have not seen them anywhere else. And I know here's the thing you got to understand about Fayetteville. It is predominantly retired military. Every license plate you see here is DVs. disabled veterans, and God bless them. But there's a reason they're here. But predominantly, I don't want to sound racist here, and that's not where I'm going. But they
Which
are
means you're about to.
predominantly black.
Yeah. That's what I just said.
And-
It's not good for Donald Trump in that area because it's predominantly black and female. But it's not racist. It's true.
Yeah, I don't want to go that way. That's not the way I think. It's not what I believe. I
Sure.
like to think that people are just people, and that's just the way it is. However, that being said,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Until
Go ahead, Leeroy.
until the bulk of America has the ability to think for themselves, then unfortunately, both parties are going to do this. They're going to appeal to a specific set of demographics. So it's not wrong to compare them. Okay. It's not like you're saying, oh, well, the white people in this area are better than. No, nobody's saying that. They're just simply saying that there's a greater sample size of a particular demographic that are going to lean in a particular direction. That's not racist.
So
Correct.
taking a look at Fayetteville, it obviously, Donald Trump, you can see had a 48-7, so a 1.3, which is a huge margin, surprisingly enough. I mean, that is not small in North Carolina, considering that there was a total vote of less than 6 million between the two, like 5.5 million. And they were separated by, looks to be about 70,000 votes. That's a pretty good size. Probably a little bit closer. Do I anticipate Kamala Harris? Here's the thing that I'll tell you, and I'm just going to be honest with you. And as you were saying that it's predominantly black and female, yes, that helps. But North Carolina voted for Biden because he was looked at as a kind of a mouthpiece for African Americans. I don't think they have that connection to Kamala Harris. I think her being black is actually going to hurt her in North Carolina. I think it's going to draw white voters out even more. So there is a double-edged sword. If we can say, well, she's black and she's going to inspire black and females, well, then you can also say she's black and that means she's going to inspire the North Carolina, white people. Now, which one's racist and which one's not? Neither of them are racist. It's just true. But if you say that, people are going to get an attitude about it. But I think North Carolina is fairly secure. I think the hurricanes are going to have a huge impact. I think that people in North Carolina are going to remember that. And I just don't know. The thing is this, is that early voting, I will tell you one thing that COVID did is I think it increased the voter registration. The other thing we need to understand is that a lot of these swing states, Republicans are kicking the living shit out of Democrats in party switch and voter registration. They just got their asses kicked in Pennsylvania. I think last month it was 230,000 plus Republicans registered over Democrats. So I have a feeling that the early voting mechanism is working with conservatives. I think Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis were good for this campaign because that was their message, is get out and vote now. Donald Trump has been saying get out and vote now. And I think that is having a positive impact on turnout because I don't think that Kamala Harris inspires people to turn out in this magnitude. I don't think abortion, killing babies, is truly going to be. I'm middle class. I hate Trump, and kill babies is going to motivate more than secure our borders, fix our economy, and no wars.
It was big in 2020. I don't think it's as big as people are making it out to be. As it was in 2020. I don't think it's necessarily up there as a huge topic of discussion because the economy and immigration is way above that for most people, I think.
Don Bradley says, Kamala has inspired my 28-year-old daughter, which has just destroyed me. I cannot get over the fact she is casting her vote for this woman. Don, I speak from plenty of experience. Don't let that bother you with your daughter. She has her vote. She has every right to vote for whoever she wants to. I understand it's disappointing to you, but don't let that impact your family. It's not worth it. Kids are highly influential, and she's a kid. That's it. And she's surrounded and inundated by people who are saying that Donald Trump is Satan and he's Hitler. And I have a feeling this is going to come down to old and young. I really do. That's going to be the vote. Go ahead, Leeroy.
I have found, and this is just been through, this is anecdotal, okay, but it's based off of a not small sample size either, that the more emotional people are, the more they tend to lean left. And because younger people tend to be more emotional, generally speaking, as people get older, they eventually
Become
kind
deaf
of get
inside.
more conservative. Yeah. So
Amy.
I like it, Amy.
Frank, wrap us up because I got a couple things I need to keep this show going and I got to get it back on track. What else we got, buddy?
Leeroy, you nailed it. The older people get, the more conservative they come. I was radical when I was in my late teens, early 20s. As time went on and I started seeing how things really evolved and just worked, my mind changed. So all we can hope for is that the people who are thinking what they're thinking right now on the radical left will come around and come to common sense somehow. And that's what we have lost in this country. Number one, we've lost God. Number two, we have lost common sense.
Oh, yeah, common sense.
Common sense is uncommon anymore.
Yeah.
So, I pray to God every night for a country, for a president, for my friends, for my family, that we come together and realize that evil is trying to take us over. And I don't want that to happen. Pray to God. I don't want that to happen. So I'm done. I love you guys.
Appreciate it, buddy. Love you
Thank
too,
you,
man.
Frank.
Thank you, Frank. Talk soon, Bubba.
Thank you, Frank.
Longtime caller and listener, Melody, Kevster, Bobby Richardson, people who have donated to the show up until Wanda and after was raising money for Hurricane Melene. And we have decided to give $1,000. We're going to be giving that to Team Rubicon, it looks like. We're going to reach out to them and see what we can do to deliver them a check. Just want to let everybody know that. However, tonight we're back on and helping out the DUM show, which is important. We were demonetized by Facebook. Over 90% of our revenue was cut. And we had to start asking for donations 6 months ago. Since then, we have hit goal every month. This, it would be night 16. I'm going to count 15, the hurricane money, as a goal hit. And we are looking to raise 200. We have already, whoa, that's the wrong one. We have hit our goal, but remember, every bit helps. We're never going to go ahead and turn anything away. So if you haven't had a chance, go to thedumshow.com/donate. The money goes to us. It doesn't go to Facebook. It doesn't go to some publishing company. It goes right to the DUM show, and we go ahead and keep the show going on air. So if you would be so kind to stop by and see what you can do, we have Venmo, PayPal, and you can mail in. If you can't give, that's fine. We understand. Just go ahead and follow the show. Make sure you come back 7 o'clock on weeknights, and we'll be here for you. I want to show you guys a funny. This is staged. This isn't real. I researched the hell out of it, but it's still funny, and I figure you guys would get a kick out of it. Just a little break.
Start off with
I'm so glad you researched it. I was going to send it to you and ask you, is this real? Because it was on the cops channel. So I thought, maybe it is real. It doesn't seem
you and
real,
I,
though.
our algorithm is identical.
Same.
We watch the same stuff. All right, so here's the video. This is 100% fake, but it's really funny. Go ahead, and then we're going to get into a serious topic. Civil War, folks.
So you do currently have a California driver's license. You just don't have a physical copy on you at the moment.
That's my preferred method of identification.
And this is...
It's a cat collar. I'm currently identifying as a cat.
Fair enough. The information here on the tag, I'm assuming, belongs to you, the boyfriend?
I'm recording.
Well, it wasn't my intention to offend you, but he just identified as a cat, and you're wearing a Harriet's Waltz t-shirt, so forgive me if I came to a conclusion that you guys are involved in some sort of a homosexual arrangement.
I'm not mad that you think we're together, but you're using gendered language. Besides, I'm not his boyfriend, I'm his owner.
Okay. Well, look, we can do this the hard way if you'd like. I can have this car towed because last I checked, a cat is not licensed to operate a motor vehicle in the state of California. We can have animal control come get you, take you to a shelter where your owner can retrieve you for a fee of $70 after you're given the necessary immunizations, which do include a rabies shot, possibly even spayed or neuter, whichever you prefer or identify with. Is that what you guys want to do here?
What should we do? I don't know. I don't have $70.
Sir, I can also request that a mental health care professional come down here on scene and do an evaluation of you because you're considering letting him take a rabies shot rather than just give me an ID, use some manners so I can give you your ticket and move along.
Why don't you just
I
mind
love
your
it.
own business? Mind your own business.
Oh, there's some serious side boob going on there.
Yeah,
Peter
exactly.
Griffin kind of. Yeah.
Way more than
we
me.
don't need to spend a lot of time on that one. Just funny, something to do. Tim Poole had a video in regards to Democrats are threatening to not certify elections. This all sounds very familiar of what they accused us of. Listen to this. Let's listen to what Tim has to say, and we will figure out whether he is based or he is crazy.
Donald Trump wins.
This is not the first. Okay, Tim, we got it. This is not the first time that Tim has used the word civil war. I think he's up to 284 times this year alone. He likes to say the word, but is he right? Let's find out.
If Donald Trump wins, they will move to disqualify him through Congress, invoke civil war conditions, and tell the Trump hordes that Donald Trump is disqualified and not allowed to be president.
So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified, and then we need bodyguards.
If only somebody would have said this, like, I don't know, last Friday.
For everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that back to life, even as we're continuing to amend the Constitution, as Professor Hassan has invited us to do.
What a wild thing to say to a group of people so casually that we will need bodyguards for everyone's civil war conditions. What he is saying that if Donald Trump wins on January 6th, they must stop him from taking office.
Listen, I'm going to say it quick and then we'll pass it around the pipe. I've been saying that shit that everyone goes, Matt, you kind of sound like you don't think Donald Trump can win. It's not what I said. I said that he can win. I just don't think he's going to take office. And this is why. Leeroy, you got something to say? Then Amy, Olivia, whatever. Just somebody go.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I think he can win. Sorry, no one else is talking. I don't have much to say. So yeah, I think he can win. I think there is a significant chance they will not allow him to become the next president. I've been saying that for months. He was never supposed to be president the first time around. He is not really supposed to be the president ever again. So I don't think it'll be allowed.
If any of these swing states do split within a point or two, to the point where, you know, the local authorities are going to have to step in, then I can, thank you, Amy. Then I could see potential litigation within each swing state, maybe even beyond the scope of swing states. I can see that delaying the results of the election by better than a week. I could see that easily.
Oh, easily. Like they'll take it up to the 10th. I mean, actually, it's about the 6th that there's really a point of no return because that's when the state electors report. But listen, they contested 2016. They did commercials. They asked. I've got a list of Democrats who asked the state electors to change their vote. They just don't show this shit. But for them to sit here and say, oh, it's an insurrection and Donald Trump, they did it in the hanging chat in 2000. They did it in 2016. Stacey Abrams did it in 2018. They did it in 2020. The Democrats do this shit all the time. They don't care about democracy. They care about who gets in. Caller, what do you want to talk about?
They win, correct.
Well, I've been saying this for over 6 weeks now, and I keep asking for a response going, Jamie Ryan, he's been perpetuating this bullshit and saying that they're not going to allow President Trump, even if he wins, to take office. So Raskin and his bunch of crony whatever there's shit coming down the pipe. So
Yeah.
even if DJT wins, Jamie Raskin and his band of merry men already have a game plan already in motion. So yeah.
Rachel Orlando says, so if Trump wins and then gets sentenced to jail, wouldn't his VP Vance be able to take over? Trump's not going to jail.
Right.
No, he's not.
He's not going to jail. So that's not even a conversation that even needs to take place. So I don't care what they do. He's not going to prison. There's not going to be one judge in America who is, if you thought O.J. Simpson was bad, can you imagine? It would be the Rodney King for white people. Like, there's no way. It would be like if George Floyd, if Derek Chauvin wasn't Derek Chauvin, right? Yeah, Derek Chauvin wasn't put in jail. So, no. Mel, what do you think? Do you think Trump's going to go to jail?
No, he's not going to jail.
Right.
But they're going to try to take him out.
Oh, of course. We know that. We know that.
Physically, not just politically.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Like I'm getting more nervous as this is going to the end in less than 2 weeks or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to get really, really quick. And with the Jamie Raskin thing for the last 6 weeks, saying there's no way that he had a very man in Congress are going.
Mel, you're breaking up pretty good. I think I know what you're saying. We'll let you try to reconnect here. It's not just Jamie Raskin. This was Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is the new. Jamie Raskin is the new Adam Schiff. Once Adam Schiff kind of fell by the wayside and the J6 committee kind of fell through, Raskin started stepping up. This has been going on for 4 years. This is when 2016 they tried to impeach him in the first frickin' 3 hours after his inauguration. Right. This is nothing new. They don't want him in office. They can't have him. If he goes in office, Donald Trump is going to expose the last 4 years, and it is going to be effing ugly. Ugly. He's going to, a lot of people think that Donald Trump will not bring fire and brimstone. I absolutely think he will. I think he will burn this mother effer down.
Yep, all the Band-Aids are coming off.
I agree. By the way, Jared said, do you think white people have the balls to step up? If they jail Trump and he's elected president, white people don't have but a choice. But I don't think it'll just be white people. I think it'll be Hispanics. I think it'll be black. I think it'll be everybody. I think there'll be a very large portion of the country that stands up and says, we have had enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really do.
It's already being shown. There's movie stars, there's musicians and blah, whatever, all the whatever. The fringe that Hollywood and blah, whatever thought was safe and whatever. Oh yeah, you're going to vote with the Dem party? No, it's not happening. And they're pissed. And the Jamie Raskin rhetoric is ramping up on other media channels. And as I've been following this for quite some time in the last 2 months. And yeah, it's not pretty. Like, this is not going to be a really good transition.
Not in any way. In either way. If she wins or he wins, it's not going to be good at all.
Way.
Yeah.
No, I think they were this time learned their lesson after the last whatever. They'll walk away. Like they're like,
no, I don't think so.
Well, no, there's the fringe minority that's going to go out and do their normal damage, which they normally do because they're tinfoil hatters. But it is what it is. So, but the majority of the whatever. And, Angel and her group, they're not going to walk. They're not going to go and do this again. They're not even going to walk close to this space.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope. But I have a feeling it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, Mel.
No, it's not going to be pretty. And, and I expect the fires to be burning and all that shit that was done a few years ago that lit all the other cities on fire that Kamala bailed out, like whatever. Yeah. If DJT wins, oh my God. Washington's going to
White-
get lit
yeah.
up, and it's
Yep.
going to be ugly.
All right,
It's
Mel.
not going to be pretty.
Mel, do
Okay,
me a
night, guys.
favor. No. You don't have to jump yet. I was going to ask you to do me a favor.
Okay.
I want to sit down. When is election in Canada?
Well, we don't have one yet because it's being put it may happen anytime soon because his own party is now calling for him to step down and call an election. So we're just waiting. So
Okay.
with the election that we just had in BC, in my province, which was on Saturday,
Yep.
the Conservative Party has never been in BC for like 900 years. We came, and there's recounts now to figure out who's going to be the communist leader or the new and the Conservatives. They just took over. So that's a bellwether for the rest of the fucking country.
Yeah,
that
it is.
The Conservatives are going to take this country over when Trudeau and his whatever steps and calls an election. So
yeah, Mel, let me interrupt.
there's
So
hope.
the reason why I asked that question is because this is very reminiscent of Brexit, and conservative movements all over the country are bellwether or weathervane or however you want to say it are recognizing that conservative elements are impacting Europe, Canada. And this is a good sign for us. So I'm going to let you go, kiddo. I got a lot to cover. I want to tell you, I appreciate you calling as always, Mel.
Thanks,
Thank you, ma'am.
Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
No,
Bye,
love
Mel.
you guys. Cheers.
Love you, buddy. Thank you. All right. So something to think about. Mel is just a shit ton of knowledge for us, and she helps us understand what's going on in Canada. And folks, they're about 5 years ahead of where we're going to be. And if you haven't seen the totalitarian rule, the authoritarianism there, it's being rejected by the people who were actually supporting. I mean, almost 53% of the people in Canada were supporting going after the minority right and saying you need to arrest them, you need to jail them for their public opinions. Canada has turned on its ear very quickly. And there is nothing like economy, global stability, and the Canadian dollar not doing well to change people's minds. It's very similar to what's happening in the United States. And that should help us understand that people are sick and tired of this. I understand everyone's nervous because they hear, oh, well, early voting is strong.
Right.
I want you to understand is that I think people understood that early voting is the only way to ensure that they don't alter this election. And that is put your mail-in ballot in and then go vote on your day. And you have two forms of you trying to vote, and enough people are going to say, not this time. I've watched my vote. I've been watching. And then you're going to see civilian movements to do recounts at the sector, at the poll stations, at the districts, and we'll take it back. They're not fucking doing it this time. I'm just letting you know. It's not, they can't influx with mail-in ballots like they did, the unconstitutional ballots. We saw that. And what happened? Now you've got poll stations. A lot of the Trump supporters are at these poll stations, volunteer captains. This is going to be a tough election, but I don't see. I'm more worried about him getting into the inauguration. That's my worry. It's not him winning this race. It's actually being sworn in. That's my biggest fear. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to shift gears. Video, ladies, try to make some sense of this because I know Leeroy and I can't. We don't speak. We don't speak
The
gibberish.
president-
I don't know if you two do, but she is yours, so you got to claim her.
Whoa,
she's a woman.
We don't have to claim her.
She's a woman. Leeroy and I don't understand women.
She's a lizard, so we don't have to.
Yeah,
claim her.
she,
I guess I would
She's not one of us.
like some verification because her sperm count might be higher than Joe Biden's.
dude, she looks rough, dude. Like her
She looks
lazy eye is kicking in.
And she doesn't look like she's had sleep for a
She
while.
looks like a shoe, like just a well-worn shoe. Yeah, she does, dude. I'm sorry. Here it is.
The President of the
You're
United
right.
States must set a standard, not only for our nation, but understanding the standard that we as a nation must set for the world. You know, we as representing the United States of America walk into rooms around the world with the earned and self-appointed authority to talk about the importance of
I don't want to speak for John
passing
Haggart,
is
Mel.
Zuma between each other.
Hold on a second. I don't want to speak for John Haggart, Mel. I don't think he's saying Canada sucks overall because it's Canada and their hockey team. I think what he's saying is like Canada is a freaking mess and it sucks because of the politics that's going on there. I could be wrong, And if he is, then fight on. Go ahead. What about Zima, buddy?
I was just saying the way they're slurring the way she's slurring her speech. I wonder if they're passing a Zima between them as she's talking to Al.
Dude, just listen to what she's trying. What the
of democracy, rule of law, and have been thought of as a role model, imperfect though we may be, but a role model of what it means to be committed to certain standards, including international rules and norms, but also standards of decorum.
What? Listen to this again. No. I want everyone to. Now that you've got it, let's really listen to this jambalaya, this Jamaican jerk. Okay.
I need to break it down line by line.
All right, let's do it.
It's like a code.
The President of the United States must set a standard.
President of the United States must set a standard. Okay, I get that.
Not only for our nation, but understanding the standard that we as a nation must set for the world.
Wait,
Wondered twice.
No chance. No chance. That's just is like that's a loop.
It's circular. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the girl. I feel so bad for that girl too. She was, I think it was Miss America. Remember the girl who was like the Iraq, and remember that girl? Like
pretty. That's
I
remember.
No fucking clue. Like they're such
as Iraq and such as America and such as and Mario is just like, dude, I'm so glad I nailed you last night and you didn't talk. All right. So that I'm pretty sure a standard and a standard cancel each other out to be a negative. Okay, so let's go to the next line.
World. We as representing the United States of America walk into rooms around the world with
Are the we in the room with you right now?
Earned and self-appointed authority to talk.
Earn your self-appointed authority?
I think she said earned and self-appointed authority.
Okay, hold on. See, I knew you women would get her.
With the earned and self-appointed authority.
Self-appointed authority?
Yes.
What the hell does that mean?
It means I am appointing myself the president, so y'all get in line.
Yeah, I don't know.
Talk about the importance of democracy, rule of law.
Democracy isn't a rule of law.
Right.
Oh my God.
And have been
maybe she did work at McDonald's.
Thought of as a role model, imperfect though we may be, but a role model of what it means to be committed to certain standards, including international rules and norms, but also standards of decorum.
I think he should just be, lady, I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
It's
she's
we need to have standards for our standards, for our standards, for our standards.
All right, go ahead, Leeroy.
She's talking about that imperfect.
I love Venn diagrams.
This is something.
I really do. I love Venn diagrams.
Liz
it's
pushed
just
the
something
button and
about.
interrupted you.
Sorry, I pushed it before he started.
Go ahead, Leeroy.
She's talking about having these imperfect role models. And this is something that we've spoken about on the show before, is that when you make people your role models like that, they will always fail you. And that's why we have a Declaration of Independence. That's why we have a Constitution, so that people like her, people like any of the other politicians who all lie, they can't let us down, because we don't have any expectations of that. We already know they're going to let us down. That's their job, Okay. Oh, this lady drives me nuts.
John Haggart, okay. Mel is an amazing human being. John, I'm sure you are too. Can we just please? I've had enough. Can we just get along? Can we just Rodney King this up for a little bit? Okay. Your dick is huge. Okay. Mel doesn't huge. It's the biggest ever. Some people say it's the greatest. Okay, the greatest dick. You got a great dick. It's a beautiful dick.
Of Trump along the side. It's as big as a jet.
It says, "Welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice day. Hello, Kamala." Okay, you have a giant dick. Okay, huge dick. Best dick ever. Okay, huge. Okay, now let's just calm down. Okay, Mel doesn't need to be dragged You don't need to be dragged. You hate Canada. Okay, fine. You've got a big dick. Let's leave Mel alone, okay? All right. Thanks, buddy. Just do me the solid, okay? Huge dick. You got a big dick. All right. Canadians allowed elderly women to be beaten by corrupt cops. Yeah, we know. And it happens here in the United States too. Okay, all right. That's John. We're good. Free speech, all that stuff. Huge dick. We got you. Okay? Harris Faulkner.
Behind him?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Why don't I mind my own business? I don't know. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Harris Faulkner, McDonald's. Okay, I'm going to put this to rest. Let's get close. Who gives a shit? I don't fucking care. If when Kamala was 19 or 18 or 20 or whatever, whether she worked at McDonald's, who cares? I don't give a shit. I don't care that Trump had real estate in New York that didn't lease to black people in the 70s, okay? Anybody who was in real estate did the same thing, okay? Don't care. I don't care if he grabbed him by the pussy. I just don't care. Because that doesn't keep money in my bank. That doesn't keep us out of wars. However, for Kamala Harris to sit here and say that she has no proof of McDonald's when this was her first job, okay, I do. I've got my military boot camp photo. You can look at it right now. I'm sure Leeroy does too. You want to see my first job? I can go back and show you Jack in the Box. You want to see my first job? We can go back to Ojai Valley Inn and Country Club, running carts and getting tips for caddy. And all of it's on my IRS filings. So all she's got to do, just provide your IRS filing for that year.
It's going to be very simple. You were 19, so it's going to be a very simple file.
Yeah, or you didn't pay your taxes. So either you didn't pay your taxes or it's not on there. Which one is it? There's no other reason. I'd just be like, fuck it, here you go. Like, it's just like Obama with his long form birth certificate, okay? Just show us. Here's the video.
If she's saying that she did that, then it should be a point of pride in your campaign. You're making the claim that you come from middle class. You're making the claim that you've worked for a living. It shouldn't be that difficult to, produce this document and say, hey, look, this is what shows that I was middle class.
That's right.
It's not that hard.
You made me make this meme. And it says, breaking, Kamala Harris to do Five Guys today. Unclear if she will also visit a burger joint. Here's your video.
God.
Yes, completely.
How frustrating is it for you as a Democrat, or maybe Democrats you're talking to know that you only have 15 days to do what she couldn't do in 3.5 years?
Well, in the military,
in terms of introducing herself to the public,
sure,
I'm not talking policy.
In the military, we say 14 days to wake up, or 15 days, right?
That's the military. You guys are trained.
Yes, 14 days to wake up, exactly, right? Listen, it's like, listen, I know former President Trump was in Bucks County yesterday at the McDonald's. She actually worked at McDonald's, and he, is...
Can I just say something about that?
Sure.
Because I'm not able to comment on whether or not that's true. And I won't even jump into that vat of goo. But why isn't her campaign cleaning that?
I'm sorry. Negus Afro Dane doll, please just don't perform a hex on me by decapitating a chicken, please. That's all. I don't want to be a wax doll. Don't voodoo me. Please don't eat my soul and sacrifice anything in the name of Cthulhu. Please. That's all I ask. Yes, America is a joke. We're satanic.
Give
yes,
Joe Blue the rum.
Whatever you say, just please don't sacrifice a chicken in my name. Okay? All right. Don't eat my soul. Thank you.
Why isn't her campaign saying, look, this is a non-issue. Here's a receipt or two, blah, 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 blah. She had to have paid taxes. She worked at McDonald's. I mean, I don't know. I just wonder why they're not cleaning it up.
Yeah,
but again, I don't have a dog in that race, and I can't say what's true.
I worked at the Pizza Hut, and I don't have receipts on that either.
I worked at the 7-Eleven, and I do.
Yeah, but I think more importantly, if Donald Trump cared so much about it when he was president, he could have raised the minimum wage. He could have been fighting for the middle class.
Please.
But he passed a tax break that 83% of which went to the wealthiest 1% of America. So it's who's going to fight for everyday Americans. And I think Kamala Harris will do that.
And in all fairness, my parents did.
Why does he think that raising the minimum wage would in any way, shape, or form benefit Americans? It might benefit a few, but how many will it put out of work? How many businesses would then be forced to then choose amongst their best labor and say, sorry, the rest of you got to go? Why do they not think of this?
Why are you calling her Kamala? Seriously, bro, you just called her Kamala. I call her, there's Kamala, and Republicans call her Kamala. And then this is the first I heard Kamala. I mean, seriously, what, dude, bro, I think you need to check the pronunciation. I don't know if she's going to be okay with that unless she's talking to Willie. Negus Afro Dane Doll says broke snowflakes. Well, then it wouldn't be a snowflake, would it? It would just be a dilapidated piece of ice without any identity and without any true form in itself. And honestly, that's quite sad. I would appreciate it if you could be a little nicer. That's really fucked up.
See, I would read broke snowflakes as they have no money.
Oh,
broken snowflakes, right?
Snowflakes don't need a lot of money because they're going to be gone and they'll usually like melt. So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Negus Afro Dane Doll.
Yes,
appreciate it.
Snowflakes
You basically
melt in hell. So
if we dug up Tupac Shakur and looked at him, you would be a spitting image. So just wanted to say, great picture. I love it. Just don't eat me. Don't love. So cast any voodoo.
Uglies.
Whatever.
She says, go back to your trailer.
Where?
Okay.
I'm missing all these comments. I'm like, can't keep up.
She's on YouTube. Here, I'll add them to the broadcast. Go back. Go back.
I think mine's just always like a lot slower.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Here's her picture.
Go back to trailer.
Go back to trailer.
Buy her a
trailer.
burger. She looks anorectic.
I don't think it's anorexic. I just
No, I think she's young because she doesn't know. This is how Hayden does her text. They type in whatever. So she's got to be just young.
Yeah, and Marky says, Negus, we got some pretty nice trailers over here. My trailer is awesome. Unfortunately, you would have to find a way to fit a 5,000 square foot 3-story house on it, but we could put it on wheels. Whatever you say, just don't kill chickens. Just please.
Yeah.
If I start getting pain in my backside, I defended you. It was Leeroy who was talking mad shit. Leeroy,
I always talk mad shit, and I will always bring it too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put this to rest. I don't care if Kamala worked at McDonald's or not. There is nothing middle class about Kamala Harris. Okay. Daddy worked at Stanford, was a communist Leninist. Okay. They had a lot of money. Average salary is $500,000 in Stanford. Okay. Professor, wrote books. She's a senator. She was a state prosecutor. She was diddling Montel Williams and Willie Brown. Chick moving on up to the east side where get a bigger piece of the pie. She's doing just fine. She is not a middle-class person. And working at McDonald's, honestly, should not be a prerequisite for the President of the United States. In fact, I think it should disqualify you. I don't think anyone who worked at McDonald's ever in the history of their lives, even if it was a starter job, I worked at Jack in the Box. I shouldn't be the President of the United States. I don't think that makes you middle class. I think that makes you begging to be middle class and trying to go ahead and patronize people. And I think it's ridiculous. Y'all age like milk. Y'all bashing a 20-year-old. Y'all look 68. I think you're looking for y'all. And that's Y''ALL. Y'all means... I don't know which... Oh, let me get it for you. Y'all age like milk.
Yeah, age like milk.
Y'all look like have diabetes.
Aww. She just means you're sweet, Matt.
She means I'm sweet on sugar.
She's calling us sweet.
Yeah,
thank you,
baby.
honey.
Trust me. I don't know what type of meat you're looking at, but you would.
And if you need a sugar daddy, well, I might be able to help you.
What's her name? Ningus? Maybe we have her call in.
Does she have a phone?
Ningus,
Where is she from?
Yeah.
Do they have phones in Africa? I don't think they have phones, but you should call in if you have a phone.
They use smoke signals in Somalia. Yeah.
Let's see. Throwing up. Print t-shirt and print tops. Let us know y'all are broke.
Y'all have no style or tacky.
That is true. She's got me there. I am really bad at styling anything.
Can we peep her page?
Yeah.
Let's peep
Let's
her.
do it.
Like, it's going to be I don't know if I'm going to be able to find her, though. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of Negus. How the fuck do you say her name? Negus Afro Dane.
Ninjas.
Dingus. Ninjas. Okay. Let me just look her up.
Marky's here.
Negus.
Oh.
Y'all just white bread.
Sign your cast.
Dane doll. Let's make her. Let's. Oh, there was only one.
Oh.
Okay, she's not on Facebook. No, hold on, let me see if she's on YouTube. Let's find. I want to see what she has on her page. I'm gonna say she's an exotic dancer. That's my first guess. Anybody else?
I think she works at McDonald's.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. She probably worked with Kamala.
Fantastic.
Camilla.
I'm going to say she's an organizer for the Democrat Party currently.
Amy, she looks so grown up. She looks so.
Oh, yeah.
She looks so
She
big
was
and
pointing out
grown
that no
up.
one did my sticker that I voted today, and yeah, she's about to turn 8. I can't believe.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Now, hold on a second, guys. Can we focus? I'm not supposed to be interacting with the trolls. No, don't. Your kid's awesome. I'm not supposed to be interacting with the trolls, but I'm. Oh my god.
Go back. I love you.
She is.
Bye, Fiona.
Fiona, love you. Hi,
you.
kiddo.
Hi, Fiona.
Say goodnight. They're saying goodnight to you. Good night.
Good night, kiddo.
Night, honey.
Dude, she's a he.
I'm a drag queen. Just a minute.
Oh, snap.
Oh.
She's a he. Let's see.
Psycho
Island,
check,
huh?
psychos!
Oh my god, you dude. Do you know the guy? I swear to God, I know exactly who you look like. Liv, look it up. From the video game show that we watched. That was so funny. The video game show.
Mythic Quest?
Yes, and the Indian Punjab who is on there. Look it up, please. Find him.
Yes.
And give me a picture because I swear to God, we have found his doppelganger. Oh, sweetie, you got to get yourself some hairline work. I mean, seriously, I'm 58, but not, even though you said I was, and you're receding faster than fucking Mars. Again. You're seriously receding faster than Mars. This is holy.
Oh wow, wow.
Liv, got that photo.
I'm getting it. Hang on.
Oh yeah, let's watch one of these videos. Let's see the quality that we got here.
Airdropping this page. Too.
Isn't it funny that like your entire identity is based on where you put your penis? That's kind of sad.
Sending now.
Here you go. Like, okay, here it is. Oh, totally. Oh my God. Even the same forehead. You are Danny Pooty. You're Danny. His name
again?
Negus Afro Digiac Doll something. Dude, your brother is here, and he wants his hairline back. Seriously, look at this.
Yeah, he's in the
Negus
community
looks
with
like
Donald
he gargles
Glover,
with a shake weight. Wow.
Oh my God.
Is that right, Negus? Is that
Dude,
true?
look at that. Look at that. Is that uncanny?
Yeah, looks
Who knew that
very,
Danny would be
very-
like smoking hot? I'm pretty aroused right now. Not gonna lie, looking good. All right, let's watch a video. Let's give him a little because he's got 24 followers. We can help out. We can help out. Go over and
That's the
follow
kind
this
of
page.
person that buys their boyfriend from the bargain bin at the Pleasure Emporium. No, thank you.
Oh, you put some highlights in your hair. It's much better. You wore a hat. That definitely covers up the old forehead. And listen, I got a huge forehead, so let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, you do.
Let's see if I can figure. You know what they say, Leeroy. Great. You're so jelly. Okay, here we go. Oh, you put music in your shit? Forget it. No wonder why you don't have any followers. You can't even monetize your shit. Is everything have music, or is there anything that's? So basically, it's just you eye fucking the camera.
Ooh.
Oh, tell me this is. Oh, tell me this is. Negus. Is this
Mouth
who's
sexing
calling?
the whole thing? Yeah.
Who's calling? Is this Negus?
This is Brian McGuire.
Brian McGuire.
Oh,
Thanks, Brian. Not that we're disappointed. We're happy
I'm
you called.
disappointed. I thought it was Negus. All right, Brian. Go ahead, Brian. What do you want to talk about, buddy?
And by the way, I age like fine wine. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, well, we have no style.
I've been engaging with you guys. I really appreciate you, Matt, and your wife, and what you are all doing. It's great.
Appreciate it.
And I plan on pitching in when I can.
Oh,
as
take
you
your
know,
time. There's no rush. There's no rush.
I'm doing the best I can to keep my family going and do what I need to do. But
yes, sir.
I really enjoy your show. I love talking to you guys, and it's been a great community, and I really like it. So I just wanted you to know that.
Well, man,
Aw,
I
thank
can't
you so
thank you
much.
enough for calling, especially since we're getting judged by a transvestite, but has an American flag. Okay, you know what? Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm okay. This person is okay. You have an American flag. All forgiven. You're done. I love you. You know what? You look beautiful. You look beautiful.
I will spoon with you now. Yeah.
I would. I'd do her. You look great. Sorry for misgendering you. We apologize. We didn't know you were an American. You're okay. You're okay in our book. Brian.
But then Shahid just said, you are our human shields in Israel.
Yeah, I don't care.
So I don't know
who cares. Yeah, you know what? Listen, already psychologically fucking like that of a tomato, and we know that completely scrambled because you can't decide that you're a guy, but you're American.
She at least knows that we're hoes. What is it? Is it a boy or it's a boy, right?
It doesn't matter. Don't assume
It
it's
had
gender.
5 o'clock shadow. Come on.
I look more feminine than that these white hoes.
Ethiopian, Israeli American.
Ethiopian, Israeli American. And that makes complete sense based upon your total mental faculties, and that makes fucking sense.
I agree. And I subscribe to white hoe.
I'm totally. Why am I not a white hoe? Why am I can
We're
be a
hoes,
white.
Amy? Amy, we're hoes?
Who's the diabetic on the panel? That's what I want to know. Who's the diabetic? Because there ain't no fucking way you're talking about
Gotta be me.
I could totally
be
get
me.
Leeroy, but I don't know why you're picking on me. That's unfair. That's not cool.
I'd own that. I would absolutely own that.
I am his side bitch.
not,
Oh, baby, you couldn't fucking compete. Trust me. You couldn't take all of me. I swear to God. You would beg for mercy. Please stop, daddy white boy cracker Zionist. Please stop. Those would be the words. I'm confident.
Wow.
Brian,
actual text.
Thanks for calling, dude. I hope you like the show after this one.
Oh yeah, I still do. I was actually I was curious. So I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
Yes.
I actually got out in 2008, but
Cool.
some of the just some of the narrative or the rhetoric that's been going on in the last few days is we talk about military being enacted against Americans.
Yep.
So
yep.
Trump taking military action against Americans or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is I've been out of the game for 16 years now. However, that to me doesn't make sense, because even when I was in boot camp, after we got out of boot camp, when we would talk about it as a unit, the one thing that I was always told from the very beginning was if you're ever instructed or you're given a command to engage Americans, that is the one command that you will always deny. That's the one command that you would never follow through with.
Yeah.
And what's your opinion on that? Maybe it's changed, but to me, that seems outrageous that you would ask a military unit, I don't care who you are, if you're Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Space Force, if you were asked to engage actual Americans and to think that they would actually do that, to me, that is just outlandish. It's beyond all conception in my mind.
Leeroy, you want to jump on that question? But first, let's
absolutely.
see. Hold on. Negus has decided to add, and I wanted to respond. I'm not letting it take over the show. These are questions that I'm addressing. I seduce straight married males. Negus, I wouldn't fuck you with your own dick. Go ahead, Leeroy. Answer Brian.
So the issue with any sort of violence when it comes down to the military and performing violence against Americans is it's a direct violation of the Passe Comitatus Act, and it's an actual act that basically outlines how military action would roll out, basically forbids any sort of military action against Americans. Now, there's several other There's
Right,
several
I
other
agree.
legal things that are at play. The Insurrection Act of, I think it was 1807, comes into play, as well as this new DOD instruction that Matt and I talked about the other day, DOD 5240.1, that was just recently released on September the 27th, last month, which basically gives carte blanche for military action against Americans. So we can see that there's this shifting kind of prism that I'm not sure the military is going to feel comfortable with, for one. And there's going to be too many people who just plain old don't. It's not that they don't want to support their country. I'm sure they do, but they're not going to want to take action against Americans, and they're probably going to bow out of this one. There's going to be far too many military members who don't feel comfortable with this, as well they shouldn't.
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I think it's all a great point, but I'm going to bring us back down to reality. Okay. We are not that far removed from essentially a revolution and separation from a tyrannical government. In fact, our government is not that old. There are plenty of governments that have had coups d'etats in the last 100 years. We are not the only government who has had a civil war that we're not too far removed from. And I promise you, every single country in the world, most of them, their military, in a civilized society that has a rule of law that is there to protect the people, and there's plenty that don't, could never envision a civil war in their country, and all said the same things that we did. It's not going to start with the United States Army, the U.S. Marine Corps, the National Guard, the Air Force and Space Force, and the United States Navy attacking Americans. That's not where this starts. It starts with the city cops. And the city cops will follow what they've already showed, because during COVID, if you remember, city police officers brutalized Americans. They arrested Americans.
Tim Walz' National Guard, he went after.
They
were going through the streets and shooting people with paintball guns.
I'm getting to that. So you had the city cops turn. Then what you had is that they started talking about suspension of due process, confiscating guns during COVID when it came to Virginia. And if you remember, they had 400 AR-15 owners show up on the Capitol steps in Richmond and fought against this. You had, at that point, the state police officers create sanctuary cities for gun owners, saying you can have ARs. This legislation is, and then you saw state police and sheriffs started to say, we will protect our cities against the city police. Then you saw the National Guard get involved. And then once the National Guard got involved, you started seeing military being brought up, that the states would have to federally go after militarized forces. This is how it starts. So it's not going to be Marines go out and kill people. It's going to be, look at what's happening in South Carolina and North Carolina. Look at West Virginia and Virginia against each other, literally fighting a war in these two states. We must bring the United States Marine Corps, the U.S. Army in to intervene and stop this conflict. When that happens, you are going to have martial law. I see you. We're going to have a fight on our hands between city, state, local, and federal forces. And ultimately, that is how this will start. So I want us to not think so far-fetched that the U.S. government brings in the United States Marine Corps to secure Texas. That's not what we're talking about. It's going to happen at this at the local level, and it will balloon into state versus federal. Go ahead, Leeroy.
Do not change the channel now, but earlier today I saw a video from Colion Noir. Guy's amazing. Love him. Lawyer.
Yeah, I love him too.
Very pro 2A. And he just earlier today aired a story back when Kamala was a district attorney in San Francisco, and she was doing a a presser conference. This was in May of 2007. And I can quote her because I wrote it down. This is Kamala's language. Just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you are responsible and safe with it. Now, it's that type
Right.
of language that should frighten everyone. And again, this is from Kamala. So when we're talking about the differences between authoritarianism and liberty, right, look where this is coming from. So this has been kind of the premise of this show for several years now, is that authoritarianism like this comes from the left. And just like this DOD instruction that got released under the Biden campaign, under the Biden watch, that is going to weaponize potentially the military against American citizens. Now you get an idea of where that authoritarianism is coming from. So this should frighten everyone.
Yep, we got to put a kibosh on this because I got to get to one more topic. And I did engage with a troll tonight, and I don't want people to leave and tell me that my show's boring because I engage with a troll. So I'm going to get to this topic. I appreciate you calling in, brother. Thank you. Semper Fi. Appreciate your service. You know all that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you for your service as well, and I appreciate your show, and I appreciate you giving me a time of day. The only other thing is, like, if you address it, the Michigan, the voter eligibility and the voter rolls are different. Do you think that has any, or that will play anything into this next election?
I think election fraud is a very small and very insignificant impact on federal elections. And I will stick to that.
Sure.
And I will say to that till the day I die. I do believe that courts getting involved and changing state legislation is unconstitutional and dangerous, and is the reason why 2020 was an unconstitutional election. It was not stolen. It was legally through the courts hijacked from America. And that will go down one day as the biggest travesty and one of the largest coup d'etats, legal coup d'etats ever. And it is, I don't agree with it. And I don't believe it's happening in 2024. And if they do it again, I think that we are very much going to see uprising like you've never seen before. I do not think people will tolerate this again. I really don't. We'll see.
Sure, I agree.
All right, buddy.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much.
Ditto.
I appreciate your time. You have a great night.
Call again. It was great hearing from you. I want you to call in again. Would love to talk to you when we have a little more time.
Sure. Thank
All right, man. Thanks. I don't know why Leeroy keeps, it's like insecure about my forehead. I have to keep, listen, I have a big head. It's no secret,
forehead.
man. No, you're an asshole. You constantly bring up my forehead. Can we just air this out? Why? Why do you always have to hurt me?
You brought up your
I'm
forehead.
I'm not the one wearing Melvin glasses.
You've got a smaller forehead than Leeroy because you have hair.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Check this thing out. Watch.
I like that.
Look at that.
That is pretty good, though. No, but you wear it well, Bubba.
Yeah.
I mean, you do. I'm
not ashamed.
But when she was talking about diabetes, I don't think she was talking about me. I'm just letting you know, Leeroy.
Not a forehead, it's
No,
a
she was
five head.
talking about me, I hope.
It's not a forehead. It's not a forehead. It's a five head, Brian says.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to use that.
That's you jealous dick. My fucking gyranes. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead. And I got to go, buddy. We'll talk to you. See you, man. I love him. He's a nice guy. I hope he calls back in. All right, we got to get to this trafficking video. This is very concerning, and I know that Olivia and Amy, I wanted to have it on specifically for them.
A horrifying report revealing sex trafficking of minors is quickly.
Don't you remember remember the video came out, or the movie came out real popular about sex trafficking? I can't remember the name of it, Liv. We were going to watch it.
Sound of
Freedom, which we still need to watch.
Yeah, and Leeroy, you need to put on your glasses. Everybody wants to see them. So,
I'm just getting a glare. That's the only problem.
It's all right. You know who you look like? You look like the guy from Match Game.
Match Game?
Harvey. I'll find it. Listen to this.
A horrifying report revealing sex trafficking of minors is quickly becoming the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the United States. And with open border policies fueling the crisis, government agencies cannot keep up. Brooke Taylor is live in Dallas with more. Good morning, Brooke.
Dana, good morning. A local nonprofit here in Dallas is working with law enforcement to...
Oh my gosh. It's a spitting image. It's Charles Nelson Riley.
I don't know who that is.
It's Charles Nelson Riley. It looks just like your dad, Leeroy, but he has
It
hair.
was Harry Carey.
No, hey,
Hi, folks. How's it going?
What the moon was made of cheese.
It's the go watch the SNL skit with
Taken
Alec
down
Baldwin.
these
He does them
sex
really well.
trafficking
Yes, all right,
rings.
let's watch this.
We spoke to the president of this foundation who tells me that the reality of the situation is that ordering sex trafficking victims is just as simple as ordering pizza. The president of the Shepherd's Watch Foundation says that you could order a sex trafficking victim as fast as 15 minutes. There's ads on social media and even gaming platforms that look exactly like this. You could select what age, height, and other really disturbing factors. She says the underage victims will usually have emojis covering their faces, and many are branded with tattoos.
There's been a huge paradigm shift, especially in the sex ads. We're seeing up to 90% are mainly migrants, where we used to work domestic cases.
And just last week, Texas DPS found a massive group of 57 unaccompanied children. Once they're processed, many are falling through the cracks and then get literally lost, becoming vulnerable to traffickers. According to a recent audit from the Office of Inspector General, over the past 4 fiscal years, 32,000 unaccompanied children failed to appear for their immigration hearings. As of May of this year, ICE also didn't serve notices to appear on more than 291,000 unaccompanied minors. The Homeland Security Investigations Dallas office tells Fox that sex trafficking is a bigger issue than many realize and impacts many different cities across our country.
It can happen in schools. It can happen in neighborhoods. It's not just any one specific area that you can pinpoint it to, unfortunately. It's an epidemic, unfortunately, in society.
And again, authorities tell us that this is not just a Texas issue. These traffickers will move the victims throughout the country, targeting different cities, big cities, small and rural areas. Dana.
Brooke, it's an important issue. Thank you for.
Yes, thank you, Brooke. Liv, Amy, I mean, illegal immigration. It's a hot topic. They've been putting this under the bed. Amy has said, where are the kids? Where are the kids? Where are the kids? Where are the kids? We hear it all the time. We have people in the chat who constantly ask, where are the kids? I think we now know. Amy, go ahead. Liv, anybody?
I think that we all knew this is where the kids have disappeared too. And it's horrifying. And people, man, I freak out all the time if I don't have eyes on my kids. I can tell you that. I don't care who you are. I'm just very cautious with my children, and even in our own front yard, which is extremely safe, and we still have cameras everywhere, and I still watch my children while they're outside. And I have 2 cops on my street. So I'm just saying, and I know it is a lot of immigrants that are coming here, and migrants, whatever. They're stealing the kids. But they're also shipping the kids over. Like, they are intentionally bringing them here. United States has become like this huge hub of trafficking children. And I know Tim Tebow has like a new foundation that he's doing too. I haven't looked into that too much yet. I think it's just starting, but I would be interested to learn more about that. I think he's a great person to do that. And I think a lot of Hollywood is covering it up. You have all these celebrities who claim to be against trafficking children, but then they're caught in these other scandals. And it's just disgusting. And I think we actually need a real person who cares about children to crack down on these horrible, evil people. And just, I'm sorry, I have no mercy for if you touch a child.
Why are you sorry? I'm with you. I mean, like, there should be.
You don't get a fair trial.
If you're caught with a child, that's it. Enough proof for me. Off with your head.
I can't say a lot. I will tell you that we have a listener who is actively involved. I'm not going to say other than a task force that is working on this as we speak. And there are several people who this is more than just a casual concern for them. And I don't think it's a casual concern for anybody, but I think we feel helpless what we can and can't do. Liv, quick thought, and then I got to show one more video and we're done.
With this, I mean, I know a lot of kids are kidnapped, but I know a lot of Hispanic families are sending their kids over the border by themselves. Why? I understand they want their kids to have a better life, but why are you sending your child, 5, 6, 7, these young kids, to cross the border by themselves with strangers? I don't understand. No matter how bad your life is in Mexico or wherever you're from, it can't be that bad to where you're willing to give your children to that, because any person in the right mind has to know what they're sending their children into, has to know that they're not just getting scooped up with open arms by an American family that wants to adopt them. They have to know that's not happening.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And I mean, I was born here. I'm an American. Our kids are here, and I'm very blessed, and we're blessed in our life. But even if we weren't, I would never just let my kids go just because I think they can have a better life. I don't know. It's sad. It's sick. And I agree with Amy. I don't think there should be any topic, any discussion. It's you're caught with them. It's done. I just think, and it needs to be public so people can see it.
You can say the word unalive if you don't want to get banned. We should unalive them.
I think it should be a public, so people see it and see what is happening and know if you're caught, this is what's going to happen to you.
You should cut them. You should cut off their balls and cut off their penis, and you give them a soldering iron. That's what you should do.
And if it's a woman, it's got to be something else there too, because there's women involved too. You know that.
You have them date the Negus Afro Jane person who left, and you have them have sex with them. That's a good punishment. Leeroy, go ahead.
I'm being completely serious, and we could all, fantasize about what we would like to do. Me personally, and I take this one a little serious. I would love to see law enforcement accidentally on purpose share the names of the cartel members, of the people that they know to be found guilty, and for that list to fall into the hands of certain groups here in the United States that would unalive, that would take that very to the extreme, we'll say.
We know how to kill these cartels. We just don't have the balls to do it. So the drug trade is just like cancer. The sex trafficking trade is just like cancer. There are billions and trillions of dollars invested in these things. And anyone that pretends that the DARE program isn't being fed by both sides, it is. Drug trafficking is a boom to the United States because of DARE and police budgets. If you stop drugs, I'm sorry, you can't justify some of these budgets. And if you think that doesn't have something to do with it, you're crazy. Because you can just look at the CIA, you can look at the gun running, you can look at the drug cartels, the percentage deals that we made with the Cali cartel to only bring a certain amount of drugs, to have a certain amount of busts, to make it look like the war on drugs was effective. It's not. You want to stop these people? Drop a Moab on their fucking compounds. That's what you do. You have 17 major drug suppliers in South America, in Colombia, in Peru. You get permission with those governments, you drop those 17 Moabs, and this is a problem that will set them back to the Stone Age. But we don't have the balls because we don't want to hurt their families. You know what? They're killing our families. They're sending these kids and they're selling them into sex trafficking. The time for the gloves off is over. And everyone busted Nikki Haley's balls and said, "Oh, Nikki Haley, we shouldn't send in SEAL teams." I agree, we shouldn't send in SEAL teams because they're the wrong teams.
No,
but I tell you what. Yeah,
volunteer force. Yeah.
You can send in Delta. If you can send in Delta on single man missions in Afghanistan, you can send Delta into single. Listen, SEAL teams are great, but they are not Delta. I'm sorry. The unit is an incredibly talented and unbelievable. You have CIA special forces, which are all top tier elite professionals. SEALs are not the right people to select for this. You go get retired Delta. Oh. You put some of these mercenary teams out there. You put some of these civilian contractors out there who don't fuck around, who are morally flexible. They'll solve this problem for you in a New York minute. You know what I'm saying? Okay, last video and we're done. Guess when's a feel good? We got to end on a feel good, and then I know we went a little bit over tonight, but damn it, I appreciate it. Mondays are always busy, and it is busy. We have 171 on plus. We're well over 200, so thank you. Here's your video. And this is feel good for everybody.
$50. I told my bonus daughter that if
Immediately, this is fake news. Kids are cleaning.
she cleans and polishes all the kitchen cabinets, she's going to get $50. Okay, Ryan, thank you so much for your hard work in cleaning the kitchen. Here's your pay as promised. However, thank you. I have to tax you. Okay. Georgiana, here's $20 for doing nothing. Thank you. Do you think that was fair to take money from you after you worked hard and she did nothing?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No.
Okay, so when you, in a couple of years, when you can go vote, if you're going to vote liberal and blue, they're going to take your money away and give it to people who do nothing. If you vote red, you're going to get to keep most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which way are you going to vote?
Red.
All right. Here you go.
That's pretty simple.
That's a great way.
It's not hard to, somebody.
That's a good mom right there.
Yep. And I'm going to end it on something that I said was going to be a good note, but I kind of lied. I'm not going to go ahead and post this because it doesn't deserve air. I posted some photos of my daughter at homecoming, and it was her homecoming. She was very, very proud, and she just looked great with all of her friends, and it was a beautiful thing, and she had a ball, and she's like, that was the best night I ever had, and I got to go out and dance, and it was a special thing, and took a cute picture, and she even let me give her a kiss. And I posted this picture because I care, and we had, 10,000 people look at the photo, and something like 400 comments, and one guy comes on and says, "What are you going to tell your daughter? Or would you let your daughter go out with a guy who was charged with sexual assault?" Let me just address this comment here quickly. If you think, you know what, I don't need to address the comment.
Yeah.
Mind your own fucking business, as somebody said to me.
What does that comment even mean?
Basically saying with Trump, because we're Trump supporters, we approve of sexual assault.
Got
and
it.
therefore my daughter deserves to be sexually assaulted because I support Trump.
You mean like Clinton? Do you mean like Biden sniffing people? Do you mean like
Or
Anthony Weiner?
Or Kamala Harris's husband? Didn't he beat up some girl?
Yeah,
yeah, he slapped his girlfriend around pretty well.
He most certainly did. I think it's really cheap. I'm not going to say keep my. I know the opportunity by putting my daughter online that's going to create some weirdly weird and sick people. The thing is wow, you're that guy. Congratulations. From taking a picture of three beautiful girls who went to homecoming and thinking the first thought in your head was sex. You sick fuck. Yeah. That's it for me. Leeroy, you get your 1 minute, then we'll do Olivia, then Amy, just to be different.
I thought this was a rougher show, right? There was way less good news. We were talking about the actual potential real results of the election. We're talking about things like civil war and human trafficking, and you have, some odd people that are trying to make fun of us, which was great. Whatever,
Yeah.
I'll own that one.
I'm gonna glass rocks.
I am gonna end this one with a quote from Elbert Hubbard, and it goes that responsibility is the price of freedom. And what that means is that if you are in charge of your own life, if you own all of the aspects of your own life, then the government cannot abdicate that responsibility, and you will vote ultimately in a right-leaning position. That's me. I'm done.
Isn't that the guy who wrote Diametics?
No, that's
No,
L. Ron
that's
Hubbard.
That's L. Ron
Joking.
Hubbard.
Dude, joke. Just
different guy.
Just a little joke. Okay. I was wondering when the space aliens were going to come down and put us back in the volcano. So Amy, Xenu got as soon as he makes his trip around the moon. It's taken him a long fucking time. Amy, go, or Olivia, then Amy, go ahead.
last. Yeah.
You are last. Take it.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for donations. Really appreciate it. It was a good show. I will not be on tomorrow. I have to go grocery shopping, and then we will not have a show on Thursday.
Why?
Because Hayden's play is on Thursday. She's in the Scarlet Letter. So she
that's-
always wants us to go on opening night, and opening night is Thursday.
We will video it this time. I've got it all under control. I'm going to take care of it. We're not going to miss a great play like we missed Beauty and the Beast, which was fantastic. Try not to hit a deer on the way to the store, Liv. Amy, go ahead.
The car is saved, and there were no injuries. So
Yes. Listen, everyone got made fun of tonight. Okay, everyone got made fun of. You deserve a little bit too, okay? They said Leeroy has diabetes. That's totally fucked up.
I don't care.
Go ahead, Amy.
I don't even know. How's that an insult to have? I don't understand. Maybe I'm just like that dense. I'm like, I don't understand how diabetes is an insult. I mean, it's a medical condition, right? I don't know.
This person thinks that they're a woman when they're a man and was ripping on women who are 10 times better at being women than they ever will be. And we're going to take this person seriously? Give me a break. Feel down between your legs. That's a dick. You're a guy.
I did put a comment up, and it kind of made me like feel like it hurts my heart, because I feel like, oh my gosh, if this person could just find Jesus and know that they are loved and they don't have to be bought. And yes, they were great. It was really cute to see her, like all the girls.
Who cares? Brian McGuire, good dude. Amy, you ordered a jacket. Will you wear it? I'll wear mine. We'll be the cool kids. We'll wear the jacket.
Yeah, I think I got a couple things. I don't remember what I bought. I was like,
some
crap.
shirts,
I knew I'd forget Friday, and then
we'll be the
I
Jets
did,
and the
literally
Sharks.
5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, shit, I got to order stuff.
We'll
before
put
I
our
forget. I'm totally wearing it.
collars up and we'll do it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, John Haggard, thank you for being nice to Mel. I hope you were nice to Mel. Mel is a sweetie. She's amazing. She's also a badass, John. So be nice to Mel. She's one of our favorites. Olivia, Leeroy, Amy, thank you for being on the show tonight. I will be on tomorrow. We'll have a recorded show tomorrow. Wednesday, we will have Amy, myself on with Olivia. Thursday, we're off. And then Friday, we'll have a recorded show. Thanks for everyone for donating. And thanks for being on the Don't Unfriend Me show. Leeroy.
Real quick, Fridays for the next 2 weeks for me are going to be a problem. I will probably end up having to change my days.
Do you have dialysis or something? You need to know?
No, I am going in for a dermatologist on this Friday, and then next week I get the garden hose up my derriere.
I was fucking joking. I was kidding.
Fun. You get a video of that
you had
one, you can share your experience.
Yeah, save the video. Save the video.
Yeah.
Share your experience.
Hey, Leeroy, you're gonna look like this.
I have a dark spot right here, and I'm getting that taken care of. Oh, that's cute. Yeah,
that's what you'll look
Maybe
like.
I'll look like that. Yeah.
So you're in a bad mood. You've only laughed like once tonight. You are in a shitty mood.
I had drill this last weekend, and so I'm kind of.
Dude,
I'm tired.
Fucking retire. Here's the thing. Dermatologist, is it now I'm scared. Now I'm worried about you. I was kidding. Is it skin cancer? What is it?
Oh, no, it's just a dark spot, and I'm going to have it removed.
Laser it off. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're getting a lower GI. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that'll be next week. The colonoscopy.
This is normal? This is just routine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to be out of it on Friday.
Okay. I was just worried about
that
you
might
because
be a fun time for you to call in.
Oh yeah, you might be fun next week.
Oh, that'd be fun. Maybe
you should have them try to find. Maybe you should have them try to find your penis when they're looking.
Right.
So
that's cute. It's funny.
I love you. Will you call me? Just tell me. Tell me everything's okay.
Negus and I can have our own show on Friday. We'll have Negus come on as a special guest, and he can.
They don't. All he's got to do is bend over, and the doctor will get a clear view. Come on, man. I mean, they don't need to do an upper lower GI. Do me a favor. Call me on Friday. Let me know it's okay when you're out on both. Okay, appreciate it. I mean, I don't want to pretend like I care or anything, but just call. Okay. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show, folks.
And I gotta send you your toilet
Holy
paper,
shit.
Leeroy, which you might. Sorry, maybe his colonoscopy made me think of the toilet paper. I gotta send it to him. You might need it afterwards. I have it for you.
I might need that and the giant donut pillow thing to sit on, the pregnant pillow. Yeah.
So all you need to do is when you feel that way and your wife's out of the room, you just say, honey, can I get a pillow? Honey, can I get a pillow? And she's going to say, why did you say it twice? And you say, I didn't. The echo. Because your ass is so big. Come on, dude. Fuck, seriously. Come on.
Hey, Billy.
Thanks for watching it. That's right. That's right. Billy. Jeez, she's got a big pussy. Jeez, she's got a big pussy. Why'd you say it twice? I did it.
Why you say it twice?
It's from the movie Predator. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. We're lowbrow. It's not our fault. Good night, ladies. We apologize for being crude and rude. You're beautiful
I've been
women.
married to you for 25 years. I don't think there's anything that can shock me at this point. Nothing you could say could shock me.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Yeah, that's challenge accepted. Good night, everybody. See ya.
Hey, y'all.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, Amy.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.